What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And I want to talk about two stories today. First story I want to talk about is Facebook is testing some sort of pop-up to snitch on your friend if you think they're an extremist. And I don't mean snitch like if someone actually is doing something crazy. Obviously, it's a smart thing to do to do the right thing. I'm just saying they're trying to get you to report on, I guess, other people on Facebook that you deem an extremist. And wow, maybe some people actually think that's a good idea. We're going to talk about ways that could be abused and misused. And in a political climate like this one, where everybody's so divided already, everybody's so annoyed at each other, I have some feelings about that. Second thing I want to talk about is Trump, I guess, quietly launched his new social media platform called Getter, Gettr. And apparently it's going to be similar to Twitter. And his former spokesman, Jason Miller, announced it. So we'll talk about that, see what you guys think about that. I don't really have much thoughts on it. Hopefully it does well for him and the country. So that's what it is today. And I want to say, as people are coming in, this is not just a promo because I have these in tank tops, but I know I'm sorry, it's backwards on Facebook, but it says, is thinking illegal yet? And on the bottom, it says, your post goes against community standards. So I made this obviously as a joke, but as a sign of is thinking illegal yet? At what point is thinking going to be illegal? Because it's getting pretty close. Having critical thinking, reason, doing science, math, adding up the data they don't want you to add is all of a sudden a violation according to the code of people who have pretty much cracked down on the First Amendment. So, this was a good thumbnail for this video, but also if you want a tank top that looks like this, dreamwear.com and the beanies too. But listen, it's not a sales pitch, okay? We got some important things to do. I was joking with my buddy as people are coming in. I like to wait like a minute before we really hop into it. But I was joking with my friend. I said the right wing is now controlled by the pillow industrial complex. Because if you go to all these right wing pages, everybody's selling pillows for Mike Lindell, promo code MAGA, promo code 45. I just thought it was funny to say that the right wing was controlled by the pillow industrial complex. Maybe you think that's funny, maybe not. No disrespect. I just thought that was a good joke. I'm like, the pillow industrial complex has been compromising the right wing. Everyone's bowing down to Mike Lindell. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, little humor. You got to make fun of this stuff or else, we're going to drive ourselves crazy. And that's not ever fun. So let's see who's coming in. What's up, Tom? We got Larissa. We got Joe. We got Teeny. We got Elsewhere Bear. We got Becky, the mom. We got Terry said, I need one of those. Someone yesterday is like, you should do beanies. That's why I wore my beanie today. Dreamwear.com, made in the USA. Made in the USA. I hope these are made in the USA. But real quick before I start, I don't have T-shirts of these. I guess I only have tank tops. We put up the T-shirts. The God is Great T-shirts sold better, so we're keeping those. But these are in tank tops. I'm gonna do sweatshirts. I'm gonna do all that. It's just like slow your road. Let's take it step by step by step. But anyway, first story of the day. Let's see. So I guess a lot of people are having pop-ups. I haven't gotten one yet because although I post a lot on my professional profile or whatever you want, I don't use my personal one that often. But in general, I haven't gotten it. But I've seen a lot of these posts saying, are you an extremist? If you're an extremist, get help or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is this a joke or is this true? At this point, the difference between the Babylon Bee and the Onion and reality is there is no difference. I mean, I literally... America is so dumb. No offense. I love this country, but we've become so stupid and so weak and so pathetic. I can't tell the difference between parody and reality. So I had to look it up. And of course, it's true. Unfortunately, Facebook test prompts that if user asks users if they're worried a friend is becoming an extremist. This was written by Oliver Darcy, our great friend at CNN. I've never met him. I just like to say the word great friend sarcastically. Some Facebook users in the United States are being served a prompt that asks if they are worried that someone they know might become an extremist. Others are being notified that they may have been exposed to extremist content. So these are the two things they're doing. Are you worried that your friend might become an extremist? Wording and linguistics is important because that's what they use to screw us over. But in general, it's not like, do you know somebody who's extreme? Do you know somebody who's like plotting terror threats and stuff? It's like at that point, I think the police station is the proper place to go. If you know somebody that's literally plotting like a physical assault, that's illegal. That's one thing. But they're not looking for that because, of course, they don't care about that type of stuff. They're just like, are you worried that your friend might become an extremist? Not even is your friend an extremist. By the way, the dictionary definition for extremist is like an extreme view in politics or religion. So even that word is broad. It can mean literally anything. And they're like, not is your friend that broad word that could mean literally anything? Is your friend that word might eventually be that? And have you maybe saw a video that we consider extremist? And to me, there's a lot of people who are extreme. There are extremist Muslims who, believe very strictly a certain set of texts and live by that rules. There are extremist Christians. A lot of people would consider like heavy Baptist extremist Christians. They believe what the Bible actually says. A lot of people, I would consider people who wear masks, not because they think it's scientifically proven, but because they don't want to show their face and look like a Republican. This is the new thing on the left wing amongst these kids, who I feel terrible for because they've been damaged by the media. They're wearing masks, and I'm like, so that's for science? You think that blocks droplets or something, right? Because it could. No. I just don't want to look like a Republican. How long are you going to hide your breathing holes in your face for? Because I like my smile. I like my face. I mean, listen, it's not about looks, but I'm just saying, like, I like to breathe. So regardless, I don't like wearing masks. It's not enjoyable. I'll do it if it makes sense, but I don't like. Why are you wearing a mask? Because for science? No. This has nothing to do with science. I just don't want to look like a Republican. To me, that's an extremist ideology. Do I think these people are going to go do something violent? No, I just think they're extremely dumb, extremely naive, extremely self-loathing, and extremely brainwashed by media. To me, that's extremist. So would I report a friend who's hiding behind a mask? No, I would never do that, because I'm not like a commie, person who's running around trying to like round people up and call them things that they aren't. In this country, you're supposed to have, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. In a free country, you're supposed to have, the right to speak freely. In China, you can't speak freely. In, Soviet Union, you couldn't speak freely. In Germany, I'm sure you couldn't speak freely. You actually still can't speak freely. They'll arrest you for questioning a certain part of history. In Germany, it's in law. But in general, in America, you're supposed to have the right, regardless of how unpopular, to speak your opinion. That's what made us free. When you lose that, and when you lose the right to a fair trial, and when you're pretty much you're being reported based on speculation that you might become something that technically, if you're nonviolent, isn't even like illegal. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there's extremist Muslims, extremist Christians, extremist liberals, extremist Republicans who just love this stuff, extreme Trump supporters who just love Trump. 99.9% of them are probably peaceful, so it's like, that word is so broad. It's just like, I find people that hate Trump and watch CNN all the time, I think they're extreme. I think there's extremely extreme Trump supporters who love him extremely, where I don't think they would hurt a fly, but I don't agree with it personally. I'm like, you guys like worship him like he's Jesus Christ or something. So it's like, this word is broad. They're broadening it even further. They're telling people to tell on their friends if they might become something that's extreme. And everybody looks at each other like we're extremists. The right thinks the left is extremist. The left thinks the right is extremist. In the last year, they tried to say that breathing air was an extremist statement. I like to breathe air. I've always liked to breathe air. I'm a pretty grateful guy. Like, I'm like, the sun's out, the bums are out. No, I'm just kidding. The sun's out, the air. I'm like, and they're like, whoa, calm down there, extremists. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, you got to put cloth over your face. I'm like, why? They're like, well, because the CDC said so. I'm like, okay, what about now? Well, the CDC said to not do this. Okay, then why are you guys still doing it then? Well, it was never about the science. We just don't want to look like Republicans. To me, that's very extreme. But I don't think these people are going to hurt somebody. But there have been people who hurt somebody, political violence on both sides. There's been, somebody who shot up a Republican baseball game, who voted, blue. And I'm sure he watched way too much television. I think the television is extreme. Honestly, I think both wings of television are extreme. Some are worse than others, but I don't watch TV because I think it's extremely negative. I think it's extremely polarizing. I think it's extremely bad energy. I think they sell an extreme amount of pharmacy advertisements in the commercials. I think it's extreme, the amount of social justice they're trying to pump into politics, to the point where it doesn't even make sense and it's not even helpful. It's counterproductive. So there's a lot of things that I see that are extreme, but I'm not going to report people via that. And what they are doing is trying to get you to report conservatives, people that like liberty, freedom, low taxes, peaceful people who just want to live in a safe environment. That's what they want you to report. And I'm going to just read from the article. This is from the CNN Oliver Darcy article. It says, this is all part of a test that a social media company is running that stems from its Redirect initiative, which aims to combat violent extremism, said Andy Stone, a Facebook spokesperson. So who is Andy Stone? I'm not going to get into this guy's personal life. God bless him. You know, he deserves his privacy. I'm just reading his Twitter. This is who he identifies as. No, I'm just kidding. And he doesn't have his pronouns, but he's the communications guy at Facebook, and he's the alumni at House Majority PAC. And House Majority PAC is working to defend and expand the Democratic House majority by investing in races coast to coast. Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat, DCCC, which is committed to electing Democrats to U.S. House of Representatives, and Representative McNerney. So he has an alumni of just doing work as a Democratic operative who is trying to get Democrats in office. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a Democrat and you've worked at 4 different places where your whole job was trying to get as many Democrats in office as possible, and certain Democrats at certain times, but that's the guy who's going to tell me what's extreme or not. Does he think that it's extreme, when people burn down neighborhoods in remembrance of George Floyd, and they kill black, ex-police officers like David Dorn, and they destroy coffee shops and they destroy sneaker stores? Is that, I bet that's not extreme to him, because he's a Democrat and they capitalize off that type of stuff. I'm not going to say him personally. I don't know the guy. I'm sure he hates me considering how good I'm doing on Facebook and we share different political views, but I have nothing but love for him. But in general, it's like, I find it's extreme that when George Floyd died, they pretty much justified, allowed, and bailed people out of jail who were destroying my neighborhood. And by the way, my neighborhood was a minority-heavy neighborhood, which just got massacred by these psychopaths who were extremely committing acts of crime in my neighborhood to small businesses. I'm sure that's not extreme to him. I'm sure it was people like Kamala and celebrities. I forget who exactly the celebrities, Seth Rogen, I think Steve Carell, from my knowledge, bailing these people out of jail. Like, let's keep. And this wasn't like, here's an example. There's political extremism on both sides. There's violence on both sides. There's idiots on both sides. No question. After the 6th event, Trump, all these Republicans, pretty much everybody, nearly everybody, condemned it and was like, that was really stupid. Condemn. The George Floyd thing wasn't one day. It was multiple days. Every day it was like you knew the neighborhood was going to get burned down. Imagine if the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, the things kept happening and Republicans started bailing people out of jail, acting like they didn't even see it and just like pretended like it wasn't happening. I'm not trying to justify either or. I think they're both messed up. But the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd type riots that were happening, it was over the span of like a week and a half. And every day people met, and every day people burned down stores, and every day people looted stores. And it's like day 3 and everybody's acting like they don't see it. To me, that's extremely fake. That's extremely naive. That's extremely dangerous. And if you care about these neighborhoods, especially the inner cities, it's extremely wrong. And the Democrats raised an extreme amount of money off of it. Look how much Joe Biden and Act Blue and Black Lives Matter raised off of this extremist violence. A lot of money. So, there's extremists on both sides, no question. But what they're doing is they have a guy who worked for 4 different, Democrat organizations saying he's looking out for extremism. They're not looking out for violence. They're not looking out for, violent terrorism. They're trying to turn everybody and make this kind of culture to say, if you vote conservative, you're probably a terrorist. If you vote for Trump, you're probably a terrorist. If you like low taxes and you're a libertarian, you're kind of like Al-Qaeda. You think I'm joking? John Brennan was on TV and he's talking about extremist groups and he throws in libertarians, like as if libertarians is this extremist group. Libertarians barely get 3% of the vote. It's people who want to live in the woods, drink rainwater, and don't believe government should infringe on every part of their life. That's what most libertarians are. Are there some crazy libertarians? I would assume if there's crazy white people and crazy black people and crazy Democrats and crazy Republicans, I would assume that there's some psychopath in America that does identify as libertarian, but this isn't mind-blowing information. It's like if you get millions of people to support a certain cause, there's going to be bad apples in the bunch. But, this type of culture that they're setting up on Facebook to try to, I guess, report a friend, they're trying to brand a certain style of thinking as terrorism when it's completely peaceful and it's completely, it makes more sense than what they're thinking, to be quite honest. Our country's becoming like super pathetic, super weak, and eventually things are going to stop working. And eventually things that allowed Black people in America to prosper, Hispanics in America to prosper, white liberals in America to prosper, Jewish people to prosper, everybody to prosper, conservatives alike, the things that made America prosperous, the reason when you talk to immigrants, they're always talking about jobs, economy. It's like, that's why a lot of people came to America, for this opportunity. if we're not an economic powerhouse in the country and China overtakes us, this is not going to be possible anymore, and everyone's going to suffer. So we're on the precipice of something very sick, and these Democrats, way more than Republicans, are the ones trying to weaken us, dumb us down, and then basically create this culture of reporting anybody who disagrees with them. This is like straight communist tactics, like we're going to do this, and anybody who questions us must be an extremist. It's like, this is the opposite of constitutional. This is the opposite of fair. And it's just embarrassing that they're doing it. But at this point, we're used to what they do. 100 million plus people disagree with them, and 99.999% of those people are peaceful, nonviolent. Some of the best people I meet, and I don't mean to bring race into it, but obviously they always try to blame white this, white that. But like, you meet immigrants, and the best immigrants that I meet, it doesn't matter if they're Indian, black, white, Hispanic, they're always like, I'm not going to say everyone's conservative because I have liberal friends, but like, conservatives are some of the nicest people you meet. They're just smart. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to live in a shitty area. I work my ass off to get my family to an area where there's not high crime, because I don't want my kids to get killed in the middle of the street like's happening in Chicago. And then she blames racism. It's like, no, you're the mayor of one of the, the harshest neighborhoods in the whole country. And some people in the country don't want to live there. And people who do live there probably don't want to get shot every weekend. So that's why there's a big spotlight on you. It's not because you're lesbian or black or a woman. It's because that's one of the worst areas in the country, and you decided to run for office there. So it should be no shocker. If I ran for mayor and I won, I would know exactly why there's a lot of pressure on me, and I try to make it better. So these people are so fake. And luckily, I think their tricks really aren't working, because it's like they could do all this sort of stuff, but the truth is the truth. And I think, the universe, God, whatever you want to personally call it, God and the universe will favor people who are really helping, and kind people, honest people, not people who fake be nice and try to, destroy everything and hurt people based on this false pretense of everybody who disagrees with high taxes, lockdowns, double masks, double injections, and wearing masks if they're not, so they don't look like a Republican. Like that's not going to get you a lot of favor. You could have the money, you could have the power, you could have the pop-up Facebook ads, but at a certain point, people like myself, all we want is a conversation at the table. And, what they can't debate, they like to take away. And, in order to really heal this country, there's got to be a conversation, and we got to stop looking at all those people. Like, I don't, when you hear me talk about somebody who wants to wear a mask, not because of science, because they think it makes them look Democrat or something, you don't hear me say, I hate that person. They're evil. They're stupid. I think they're a terrorist. You don't hear that come out of my mouth because I feel bad for them. I also feel bad for Trump supporters who think Trump's a secret military president at the border. Like, I feel horrible. Someone cried on my supporters only live stream. I felt bad, but I'm like, you gotta think about this stuff because it's gonna ruin your life. But anyway, it's like, I don't hate these. I'm like, I feel like they're self-loathing, and I don't say that to be rude. Like, I think they've been conditioned by the media and the school systems to hate themselves. They've been brainwashed by the television to think that breathing air makes you a conservative. What does breathing air make you? It makes you free. It makes you a human. Going to an event, when you see a stadium full of cheering, or you see a concert with 100,000 people, that's human spirit. That's a type of energy that you can't get through a Zoom call. You know what I'm saying? You can't get it through a cell phone. That's the best of humanity. That's the realest thing. That's all we are. That's our best. You take that away, it's our worst. And you hate people who want to do that, you become the worst. So I don't hate these people. I don't think they're terror threats. I just think they've been brainwashed into self-sabotage. And, they say misery loves company, and these people are miserable. So they want the whole country to be miserable. They don't like the country. They don't like the flag. They don't like the people here. They don't like a certain race. And all this stuff is just projection tactics. So, it's not going to work, but it's like, come on, Facebook, get a grip. Second story is, Team Trump quietly launched his new social media platform. He called it Getter instead of Twitter. He just called it Getter, Gettr. Not the greatest name, but whatever. Who am I to judge? Twitter kind of sounds stupid until you learn it. Same with like Eminem, the rapper. Like, if he wasn't Eminem, it would be a weird name. But anyway, Getter will be the newest MAGA venture in the space. It's being led by Trump's former spokesperson. Former President Donald Trump's team quietly, it's quiet because you kicked him off social media. I'm sure he would be a lot louder about it if he was allowed on Twitter, but they're like, I wonder why Donald Trump is so quietly launching this. It's like, well, where else is he really going to launch it? Anyway, former President Donald Trump's team quietly launched a new social media platform on Thursday, billing it as an alternative to big tech sites. The platform called Getter advertised its mission statements as fighting cancel culture, promoting common sense, defending free speech, challenging social media monopolies, and creating a true marketplace of ideas. Trump's involvement with the project is unclear whether or not he will set up an account on Getter and use it. I mean, let's see what you guys think. No, Getter, Gettr. So, I mean, I think it's a good idea to make alternatives for sure. I think that's the best thing about free market capitalism is when you have competition in food, competition. The bad parts gets when Apple tries to shut you down because you don't listen. Then it's like, well, that seems like somewhat of a monopoly if one company can shut every other company down. But I think it's a good idea, regardless of how good it turns out. It's like if it flops, it flops. If it succeeds, it succeeds. That's supposed to be the American dream. Hopefully it goes well. I would love to see better social media rise that are outside of big tech. It's a tricky situation. So I'll watch from afar. If it starts doing well, I'll pop in probably. But I don't know that I'm going to sign up an account right now. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to read some of your comments about what do you think about Getter, Trump's social media platform. Someone said Getter is a bad name, but I support the competition. Someone said my Getter profile is Ghost of 1776. Someone said, I'm going to lose my neurologist if people keep complying. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Someone said possibly a honeypot. Nothing is out of the realm. Someone said as far as Jim Jordan and Rand Paul. Anomaly, did I say it's Getter? Gettr without the other E. Gettr. Someone said beware of the Delta variant as part of the next fraud. No, I said yesterday that because the Delta variant came out during Pride Month, I feel like the Delta variant is gay. And I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, it decided to pop its head out in Pride Month. I saw the Delta variant wearing a Megan Rapinoe jersey. And, I'll be monitoring the situation. Let's just put it that way. Someone said Getter is get her. I don't know. Getter is get her. Is that like, oh, lock her up? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't want to start my own popular opinions yet. I'm trying to keep it positive, but people really got to watch with your rhetoric because everybody keeps talking all this shit. Excuse my language. And then Trump didn't do anything. And then you guys act like these people aren't going to want to do it to you. Like everybody's talking this big shit for 4 years. Trump's talking about lock them up. He doesn't do shit. He gets his own supporters locked up. He locks down the country. And now he's out of office and everyone thinks like, oh yeah, why are they coming after us? It's like, well, your leader didn't do anything. He set you up. And now he's talking shit from an email message. Like, yeah, they're going to come after him because he said he was going to do it for 4 years and he didn't do anything. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like, what do you expect? Like, your leader failed you, but it's okay. Maybe he'll be better at social media. Let's calm down. I don't want to get too unpopular yet. I got things to do. Someone said, doesn't matter what app you're using, you're feeding the machine. Well, I'm on an app, you're on an app. It's the lifestyle we live. It's a balance, I guess. I'll say this. I think it's more inspirational. I have on my wall right there is a Buddha quote. It says, your own worst enemy can't harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. So are all these things happening in the world? Of course. Is tech getting crazy? Of course. Is everything getting crazy? I think so. But how much time do you spend on Facebook? How much time do you spend on Twitter? Who do you listen to? I'm the only one who should. No, I'm just kidding. Listen to whoever you are. I was just joking. But, how much time do you spend with me? Sometimes I feel like there's all these external issues, which there are, but sometimes the biggest issues internally. I could change my whole life. I got to get my thumb fully healed, but I could become a bodybuilder. I could become I could get really good at a sport. I could start playing an instrument. I mean, I already play music, but you get what I'm saying? If I take 10 hours a day that I spend on the line, cut it to 3 hours or 2 hours and use those 6 hours or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to do something. So I think that's the inspiration I'm looking at, whether you're on Facebook or Getter or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. It's like, that's my goal for 2021. What year is it? What's my age again? No, 2022, 2021 is to spend my time better and dominate, maximize every single day, even more. I do a lot, obviously, but I want to do more, not in a selfish way, but there's someone said, I think you're right and the best. Thank you, C Free, and I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats. But that's something that we all can do outside of whatever social media you use. Let's see. Someone said read books before they're gone. Yeah, I agree. Someone said you should become Korean. I'm thinking about the transition. Sorry, I'm late. Can you explain the extremist friend pop-up warning? First time I'm hearing that. I could do it quick. So they're just testing a pop-up on Facebook warning you that one of your friends might be an extremist, and you can report them if you want, if you think they're going to become an extremist or you're watching extremist content. That's the gist of it. You got to rewind at the end if you want to watch. Someone said Gab is the truth, Christian owned and operated. As long as it's not porn or illegal, it's good to go. Well, this is why I don't trust Trump. No offense. It was Governor Abbott, who Trump is endorsing, that said that Gab is an anti-Semitic platform, and he wrote a bill, some sort of law or bill, to try to deplatform Gab. I don't like people think I'm joking or I'm just being edgy or something. Like I'm trying to like make a statement and like shake up the can. I really don't like these people. I mean, I don't hate them, but Governor Abbott's a phony. How are you going to fight big tech when you're attacking the only big tech company that's not owned by Democrats? You know, same with Trump. He's all about these anti-Semitism laws. They don't believe in free speech. They're just putting on a show. I'm so tired of these people, but whatever. I don't hate them. It's just like they're such frauds, you know? Their whole life, oh, we're fighting big tech, we're fighting big tech. And then they turn around and pass a legislation, some sort of bill saying that Gab is so horrible. It's like they're actors and they're not even good at acting. So at least you watch a movie, they're good at acting. Sean said the Delta variant joke was good, bro. I got to pay my respect. Thank you so much. I'm working on my comedy. I got to get funnier because as things get stupider, I just got to get funnier or else I just get annoyed. Muddy Fun Star, that's an odd name, but I like it. The right, we're not calling for normal citizens, voters to be locked up. It was about nefarious individuals who are criminals. Well, Muddy, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they were calling for people to be locked up, but I'm just saying Trump was calling for these people to get locked up, and he didn't do it. So now that he's out of office, they're going after him and his associates. I mean, they did it already. So it's like, I'm not saying it's equivalent. I'm not saying Trump supporters meant anything bad by it, but if you follow a leader who's talking all this big shit and doesn't do anything and starts passing speech laws and printing money, he's a shitty leader. I'm sorry, but it's like I gave him 4 years. I thought he was doing well. He was talking a lot, doing a lot, and his mouth was bigger than his actions. He's a good actor. I'm tired of this guy. You know, he's getting everyone in trouble. If you're going to talk the talk, that's fine. Just walk the walk. But if you're going to basically say, I'm going to lock him up, and then you don't lock him up, like they're going to want to lock you up. I'm not saying his supporters deserve to go down with him, but if you follow the leader who's heading in that direction, I don't know what people expect. I'm not blaming him. I know it's a tough job, but it's like, I'm so tired of his little spectacle. Everybody's been running circles around him for a year and a half, and he's just been distracting people from the main issue. The main issue is the medical tyranny. The main issue is the lockdown. The main issue is the vaccination segregation. The main issue is the printing of trillions of dollars. The main issue is the fact that both parties are giving up your constitution. All 5 of those issues don't even register in his brain because he's just a showman. He keeps running people in circles, and every statement he makes has nothing to do with all that stuff, nearly never, and everybody just runs in a circle around him. It seems like a show by design. I'm not saying it is, but at a certain point, it's like you have to wonder why conservatives are running in circles for a year and a half around issues that mean nothing compared to the medical tyranny that was ushered in 2020, not in 2021. It happened last year. All this got set into place with the pen of Donald Trump, but it's going to continue to be unpopular. People are going to cry when I say it, but if you don't get that, you're not getting anything. It doesn't matter. Anomaly, I don't like what you're saying. Then click on follow. You think I care? I don't like the fact that you don't get what I'm saying. So, you know, this goes both ways. Rochelle said, Suns are going to the finals. Woohoo. Things are going well here in Arizona. Thanks to SCOTUS election ruling. Love you, Anomaly. God bless Arizona. I love Arizona. Very good energy in Arizona. Grabler would have been funnier. Get it? Grab her by the post could have been called Grabs. That is very funny. That's a good one. Someone said India added 50K soldiers totaling 200K at the China border. What's going on? I think as the media has been lying to people. I mean, billionaires, tech companies, and countries like China have been bracing for more power. What do you think communists want to do? Communists want power. Communists want total control over their country, and eventually they want total control over your country. So this is what communists do. So when a virus comes out of a communist China and you lock down your country, you're bowing down to communism. Trump bowed down to communism. He fell for communism. He got destroyed by China. And now he just does this little dance and people think he's saving the world. He lost to China. So now China and India are doing stuff. India actually likes their country. America has a leader who doesn't like our country, and one leader who pretends to like our country who doesn't seem to be able to do anything. So, our country is not in really great shape, in my opinion. But, China, I don't like communism. I don't agree with communism. I can't stand communism. I think it's wicked, anti-human, and a total control system. But China's doing nationalism and communism. That's why they're growing. I don't agree with it. I don't like communism. I would never wish this for the world. I like America and our Constitution. But nationalist communism will work for the state. It might not work for the individuals, but the state's going to get stronger because as America's making their children weaker and stupider and more brainwashed and more emotional, China's trying to make their kids stronger. They're training men to be bodybuilders and stuff. They want to win. Nationalism and communism, I'm not saying it's good because I hate communism and I don't like socialism, but that's how your country, the state, gets stronger. America is morphing into this socialist communist country, but there is no, we love the country. They hate America. They hate the people here. In China, they love the people there. They love the country. So they're growing. America's being destroyed by both parties. So you can't have communism where you hate your own country unless you don't want your country to exist anymore. Communism means you get all the negatives of communism, which is no freedom of speech, no freedom of business, but you don't even have the fact that your country's growing like China's growing, where there's like a sense of camaraderie among the communism. The American version of what China's doing is even worse. I don't like either of them, but it's like they're doing it to win. We're doing it to lose. It's pretty whack. Someone said nationalism is a huge problem also. I'll say this because I've seen both sides of the story. If you're overly prideful and all you do is love yourself and your country, I mean, at a certain point, yeah, it could become a problem. But what people don't understand is, if you're the president of California or the governor, your job is not to make the whole country better. Your job is to make California better. And by making California better, you make the country better. Nobody cares about their own city. You got California politicians talking about Texas. California has the most poverty in the entire country, and it's the biggest economy, one of the biggest economies in the entire planet. So you got to focus on your country. At a certain point, overly nationalism can be bad if you're not playing on a global scale. But if you don't understand, like when your country doesn't have sovereignty anymore, if you're operating under the laws of the UN and the EU and, what Europe wants and what China wants, you don't have a constitution anymore. You're screwed. So overly nationalistic could be a problem, but in a lot of ways, people loving their country is the remedy to hating your country and selling out to foreign nationals, but we don't really have a nationalist party. We have like a communist party who hates the country. And then we have a Zionist party who serves Israel and dupes a bunch of Christian conservatives into thinking that they're serving you when they're not. But that's a whole different topic. Someone said America is the most diverse nation on earth, period. And this is why, like, the only solution to American unity is some sort of national pride, because it's not a racial pride, it's a national pride. If you don't have national pride, what unites us? It's not skin color, it's not religion anymore, it's not hobbies. What unites the United States of America? The flag. That's why conservatives tend to like the flag. And Democrats hate the flag. They hate the flag. They hate the country. They hate the Constitution. How are you going to unite such a diverse group of people? There's only one way to do it now. China's united under nationalism. China's united under race. China's united under the flag. America, there's one thing that unites us: the flag, the country, the Constitution. But who hates that the most? The Democrats. That's why they're worse. So, that's why it's like, yeah, if you're overly nationalistic, it could be a problem. But there's only one thing that really unites the country right now that can make us a strong unit, and that would be, support of I'm an American. Who does that? Who are the Black, Hispanic, Asian, white people who say, I'm an American, I'm not a Mexican, I'm an American? It's conservatives. Who says, I hate the flag, I hate the country. They want to be. They were never going to unite under this commie, left-wing, psycho, critical race, whatever nonsense they're doing. It's all just Marxist and communist tricks to divide people. We can't possibly unite in this country unless we choose something that unites us all. And the only thing that unites us all in a special way is the flag and the country. So, I think extreme can be extreme in any way, but if you don't have national love, we don't have a country. And that's what we have right now. But to each their own. Jay Wilkes said, anomaly is deep state. Can I have really bad takes for 500, Alex? I read bad takes though. I find it funny. Jay Wilk, what deep state do you think I'm working for? Let's hear your theory in the comment section. Someone said the guy who divides his chat and base is now talking unity tour. I don't know if you're talking about me or Trump or Obama. I'm not even sure who you're talking about. Someone said, what's their end goal? I'm convinced that they want power. Here's you could look at, there's many ways to spin this, but if you read the Communist Manifesto, I've read it, I've done whole videos on it, I've shown people what's in it. They want total control of banking, total control of media, total control of transportation, total control of everything, the economy. What happens if the state has total control? If it's the tech companies in the state, it's like a slave system. There's going to be one small group of people that dominate everything, and then everybody else just has to fall in line. I think that's what they want. We could speculate on who's doing it and why and what their goal is, but I think power. There's certain people who buy into greed and envy and these principles. You'll never be happy, but these sinful ideals, and I think they just want total control, total power. The more tech advances, you have the power to do everything. So before, you used to have to sail over to America. You sail on America and you're Christopher Columbus or whatever. I don't even remember the full story. And these people, and then you fight. That's savagery. I came here. Now there's technology. You could surveil everybody on the whole planet. So if you gave technology to Christopher Columbus and the Native Americans, there probably would have been a competition to who's going to control everybody. I'm not saying it's right, but back in the day, it was like you sail your ship and then you see what you could see. You got a telescope, you see what you could see. Now the telescope is the cell phone. The telescope is the phone lines. The telescope is mass communication system. So they have data on everybody. So now there's players in the world who are thinking, if I don't take control of this, they're going to take control of this. So there's and at a certain point, those people at the top probably struck a deal to some point and be like, okay, we'll control everything. So, I think it's control, but like every Orwellian sci-fi movie you've ever seen that included technology, whether it be Black Mirror, 1984, there's probably thousands of them. That's what's happening. It's not a theory or it's a prediction. That's all coming true. One way or another, there's people who are, have access to more information, more technology, more data, less privacy. And they've decided that they don't want the Constitution anymore. It's annoying. It gets in the way. I think that's what's happening. Holly said, thank you for trying to educate people. Well, thank you, Holly. I appreciate it. Goodfellas said your apartment's too small to be deep state. LOL. If I was deep state, I'd have a better setup. They probably would hook me up with like a nice little backdrop. I don't think they would allow me on a government budget to. I don't know though. Government kind of sucks at their, not always, but most of the time they can't do anything right anyway. So, they build $1 billion website and it doesn't even work. So, but yeah, I think I'd probably have a better setup. Someone said Anomaly sleeps on the floor. You guys are roasting me today. I like a good joke. Just make sure it's funny. I don't sleep on the floor, but it looks like I could. I suck at interior design. I'm not a good interior designer. I'm creative, but I'm kind of stupid when it comes to interior design. I have a bed, but my apartment, I've been here for a year. It's still underdone. I like space. I might get a couch. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. That's why I just work. I don't know anything else. I work, I play, I work, I swim. I don't know what I'm doing out here. I'm just doing my best. Someone said, I like the painting of the palm tree. It's relaxing. I like it too, but people voted and they decided that my setup sucks. And I think it kind of does too. It could be better for sure, no question. I mean, I got a beanbag over there. I got a crappy chair over there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Someone said anomaly is Q. Trust the plan, man. No, I'm just playing. I would never do that to people. I would never send people on a wild goose chase. I feel like that's such a mean thing to do. Either that person purposely did it or they just got too much power. Someone said feeling cute, might get a couch later. That's funny. Someone said being couchless is probably healthier. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm doing the best I can. My dentist has a painting similar to that. Shout out dentist. Gotta keep your teeth clean. Who bought the couch? What was the final auction price? I never auctioned off my couch. There used to be people who came in saying, who wants to buy Anomaly's couch? I just left it. It was kind of a shitty couch. I think I just kind of like left it or threw it out or something. I don't know what happened to it. I'm going to read this real quick. Kingsley, this is not, someone said, you get on Trump for the vaccines, but what plan would you have to curtail what all we know is a power grab, especially knowing that we'd still be on an extended extreme lockdown? Bro, this, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to try. I need to keep calm. I've heard this 1,000 times. You think giving the vaccines set you free? There's a great Chris Sky video from a year ago. Chris Sky's this kid in Canada. He explained all this a year ago. He said, first, there's the masks. Then there's going to be the vaccine. Then they're going to get you that, telling you could be free. And then they're going to bring a variant. And then they're going to shut you down again. And then they're going to give you another dose. The vaccine does not make you free. You love Trump so much, you think the vaccine sets you free. The vaccine didn't set you free. The lockdown and the vaccine are like the apple and the apple tree. And the fact that you think that's what your freedom means, what does it mean to be free if you think that you're only free if Trump rushes a vaccine? So he has to lock down and give a vaccine, and now you're free. You're not free. You're 2 steps away from being locked down again. So this is not how it works, guys. I hate to be mean, but I am so sick of these Trump cultists. It's like the only way to be free is to print trillions of dollars, usher in communism, and rush a vaccine. Like, you don't deserve to be free. The elites look at people like these people are stupid. And I have to say, they're not wrong, unfortunately. Like, I don't agree with what they're doing, but they think both parties are stupid, and people keep proving them right. What does it mean to be a conservative if that's the only way you could be free? It never set you free. It doesn't set you free. You think you were going to be locked down for 4 years? You would have stayed locked down for 4 years if Trump didn't rush a vaccine. What does that say about you? What does that say about conservatives in this country? Everything you need to know about conservatives in this country. They don't do anything. The only way I could have been free is if Trump rushed a vaccine. If not, I'd still be locked down. Then what are you conserving? This is so sad. What a sad, sad movement this has become. Jabril said, for real, we're hooked up to millions of billions of dollars of hardware and satellites known as the grid, but people are still trapped in the matrix of all the endless knowledge at our fingertips. Jabril, that's a great comment. You could have everything or you could have nothing. You could learn everything or you could be trapped in a little matrix. And that's what they've done to us. They've trapped the left wing in a little matrix. You have access to all the information in the world, but you want to put on 2 masks and you don't want to look Republican. You're brainwashed. You know, they have Trump supporters. You have access to all this information and you just keep saying the 3 things on loop. What about the audit? What about this? What about that? Well, Trump built the wall. It's like, guys, there's more conversations to be had. He didn't save your life by rushing a vaccine. When you give that much money to big pharma, when you print trillions of dollars, when you send PCR tests all over the country, you're not setting the country free. Trump ushered in communism. Not doing the vaccine probably would have made America more free than doing it. You think you would have still been locked down? Then what is this movement? There is no conservative movement. It's a bunch of like, not trying to be mean, but it's like, where are all these tough guys that I see? Like, I'm thinking conservatives are so tough, and they're like, man, we would have been locked down for 5 years if Trump didn't rush a vaccine. Then you don't understand what happened, because the lockdown and the vaccine are like the apple and the apple tree. It's like, oh, they had one right away. Oh, very quickly, emergency use. You think this is just random that they were going to wait 5 years to do this? It's just we got to talk about something else, because I can't be big Bill Murray in Groundhog Day and have the same conversation since March. It's such a pathetic movement now. It's a movement of crybabies, excuse makers, communists pretending to be patriots. I mean, I'm a patriot, but I mean, I get that he's selling out the First Amendment and communism coming, but like, I mean, we needed trillions of dollars of printing in Big Pharma, or else I would have been locked down. It's like, then what's the point? Why? Let's stop. Someone said it was the left who's screaming for the vaccine. Guys, I feel like I'm trapped in like a dum-dum box right now. I don't care who's asking for what. The left wants your kid to be a woman when they're 2 years old. Are you going to change your kid into a woman just to be like, hey, look, my kid's a transgender now because the left wanted him? Is that how you live your life? You do what the left wants you to do? I don't care what left wants me to wear a mask on a Zoom call. Did I ever wear a mask on a Zoom call? Because my life does not revolve around kowtowing to what the left wing thinks I should do, or else I would be an idiot. So your excuse is that they wanted it, so he did it, what they wanted him to do. Yeah, he did do what they wanted him to do. You're totally right. He turned into a worse version of Barack Obama. He did everything they wanted to do. He locked down, he printed the money, he sold the vaccines. Yeah, you're right. So why would I vote for a communist? Why would I vote for a medical tyrant liberal who went further left than Obama? What does that mean? Well, they wanted it. Okay, then give them what they want. And then conservatives sit on my chat and cry about Democrats. It's the Democrats, but you just made an excuse for a guy who became a Democrat. Well, he just did what the Democrats want. Then why do you blame them when you support people who do what they do? Am I going crazy, or are people just like, come on, folks? This is like elementary level stuff. Someone said Trump now shuns Gab. I've said why 100 times. People can get so mad at me. Trump doesn't believe in free speech. Governor Abbott doesn't believe in free speech. They are Zionist first, anti-constitutional, conservative second, people who will pass speech laws for their agenda that go past the Constitution. They will hate Gab. Why do they hate Gab? Because they're Christian, conservative, and they don't bow down to the Zionist Republicans who want to supersede the Constitution, because Gab actually believes in free speech. Trump doesn't, Abbott doesn't, but we could sit here for 5 years and conservatives will never get it. They won't get it until they're crying at the gulags, blaming AOC, when it was their own leaders and their own supporters who led them there. So let's not have the same conversation over and over, because we've said it 50 times, but people don't want to listen. They want to repeat the same things. I mean, it was the left who wanted the vaccine. That's why Trump did it. Okay, so he turned into a left winger, but it's the left. But you just said he was the left. It's like, come on, guys. It's just like, it's so tiresome. You expect this from people who are left wing. You would think people on the right get it now, but they just don't. It's okay. Do I regret making a Trump song? No, because if you listen to the lyrics of the song, there was a lot of stuff mentioned in the song. I didn't make a Trump album. I wasn't a Trump rapper. The song was I Like Trump, and his attitude, I was harnessing the attitude of he just didn't give a F at the time. So if you listen to the lyrics, they still ring true, I believe. Someone said it will need to get so bad that people finally cry. I mean, if a lockdown wasn't bad enough, I don't like what if you're conservative and you believe in freedom and liberty and low taxes, and your guy in 2020 prints trillions of dollars, tells you to kick Thomas Massey out of the party, passes the CARES Act, funds Big Pharma, one of the most corrupt industries on the planet Trump gives more money and power to than anybody ever before, and then starts selling vaccines for them like a salesman. If that's not bad enough for you, you don't deserve freedom. Republicans lose freedom not because of Democrats, because they fall for the dumbest things. How could you even pretend to be a constitutionalist if 2020 didn't ring a bell in your head as messed up? Not just from the Democrats, but from the Republicans, and not just from the Republican Party, from the leader of the Republican Party, Donald J. Trump. If that doesn't make you think something, you don't deserve freedom. You don't have freedom because you don't deserve it. If you can't say anything about it, and it makes you mad when I say it, more than it makes you mad that it happened, I don't want people to be mad at all, but why would you get freedom? It's not AOC's fault. It's your fault. The conservatives stand for nothing. I can't wait for tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but they're testing me for a television show. I don't want to say too much, but I'm going to say exactly what I say here, there. let's see if they want to have this conversation or not. I might lose the gig, but maybe not. Maybe they want to talk about this. I don't know, but I'm not bowing down. I'm not stopping. I actually believe what conservatives pretend to believe. There's no other way about it. Michael said the world needs more people like you, Anomaly. Oh, thank you. That's nice. About reporting friends, the White House advertised this in a briefing on June 15th. They also said they'll prevent extremists from getting into key positions of government or private sector. What is an extremist to them? Somebody who extremely believes in the Constitution, somebody who isn't just a sellout. Like, this is all stupid. Thank you, Dimitri. What's up? He said 333 and 1. Nah, you're wilding, Dimitri. You'll come on again. Don't worry, you'll come on. I'll bring you back on. That I wasn't even trying to debate you on Instagram, Dimitri. I was letting you speak your thing. You said I don't like when you say that. I say that's fine. You don't have to. You'll be back on. I'll put on my space helmet. I'll be ready for it. Someone said one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and we have homelessness and potholes in the road. It's because our country has no love for itself. I mean, conservatives are the only ones who slightly somewhat care. Democrats don't care about anything. LA is disgusting, and they don't even care. They're talking about social justice. It's like, what about the social justice for the people who have to live on your crackhead streets? They don't give a crap about anything. It's all fake. It's okay. We'll get through it. Someone said, Trisha said, realize the conservative people aren't the same as the conservative politicians. I love conservative people. I don't say this to be mean. I love conservative people. They need to wake up and get stronger and smarter, or they're screwed. So if you're not like the politicians, but you keep falling for politicians, it doesn't matter who these people are. You're getting fooled. I don't think they're bad people. They're fooling you. They're tricking you. I know that most conservative people are not like the politicians, but if you get fooled and then you get fooled and then you fall in love with getting fooled, they're just going to keep fooling you. Why would they stop fooling you? So, trying to convince people that Trump fooled them, they don't want to hear it. So why do they deserve freedom? They lost more freedom in 2020 than under 8 years of Barack Obama. With Trump in the White House, with Trump at the helm, with Trump as the leader of Operation Warp Speed, with Trump as the leader of Coronavirus Task Force, you lost more freedom in 2 weeks than you lost under 8 years of Obama. And no one wants to talk about it. So why do conservatives deserve freedom? I don't think they do, because they don't even want to address the elephant in the room. They want to run circles around Trump. So you get what you ask for. If you don't ask for it, if it's not even a top 7 issue on your head, I seem to be one of the only conservative leaning influencers who even cares about it. And then everyone else cries when I say it. This is the conservative party. Not only do they not say it, not only do they not really care, they cry when someone points it out. They do more to fight me than they do fight for their own freedom. These people are, it's a status for certain people. For these political commentators, it's a status. They love the attention. I look like I'm a freedom fighter. They dress like a freedom fighter. They wear Cowboys hats and they don't do shit. It's all just a big show. And same with these politicians. Chris said, you're wrong, dude. What am I wrong about, Chris? I mean, let me know. I'll read it. What do you think I'm wrong about? You're on the air. Someone said, I want to see Caitlyn Jenner fight the homeless. Could be a good pay-per-view. Chris said he didn't have a choice. Chris, I'm going to say this for the 1,000th time on my live stream. I don't care what choice Trump had. Are you a free citizen or are you a peasant? If you want to make excuses for why you lost everything, sit and make excuses on Facebook. But I'm not saying what choice Trump had or not. I'm saying the conservative base chose to run circles around the guy and make excuses for someone who gave up more freedoms in 2 weeks than Obama did in 8 years. Conservatives don't deserve freedom because they make more excuses for why it got lost than for standing up for it. There is no conservative movement. There's a Trump cult worship movement who will literally make excuses for communism before they stand up and say, actually, I don't even want that to happen ever again. It's so nuts. they program both sides where it's like conservatives have turned into professional PR teams. I mean, he had no choice. The only thing he could have done was communism. Then stop crying about the fact that he lost the election. Because if that's all he could do, he lost it for himself. Oh my gosh, it's just so sad. There is no conservative movement. There is no freedom movement. There is a Trump worship movement where they run circles around politicians who give up your First Amendment for a foreign country that they're subservient to. That's what's happening. Someone said you lost everything because Biden took it away. Gail, I feel like I'm talking to brainwashed liberals. I'm not trying to be mean. Before Biden got into office, I had less freedom in March. I had less freedom in April. I had less freedom in May of last year. I had less freedom in June. This happened under Trump. All of this happened before Biden even got here. Do you not know that? Are you that far gone into Trump that you don't even know that this didn't happen when Biden got here? Is Biden good? Biden sucks. He's not even doing anything. You don't know that? Or am I talking to a wall? You love Trump so much, you want to pretend like this all came because of Joe Biden? Joe Biden was sitting in a rocking chair on March 2020, and he didn't even do that many shows. This happened last year under Trump. You've become pathological liars. How are you going to fight the fake news media when all you do is lie on behalf of Trump? The right wing is so fake now. It's a bunch of liars. It's a bunch of excuse makers. It's a bunch of communist, socialist excuse makers. It's like, why do you think you would ever get freedom again when you have turned into an excuse maker? This is so crazy. I can't believe this is even happening. So it's so nuts. It's just like someone said, so now you're switching sides when he's out of the White House. I'm not switching sides. I believe in freedom. I believe in liberty. I don't believe in communism. I don't believe in a vaccine salesman. I don't believe in printing trillions of dollars and exchanging wealth. I don't believe in letting big tech corporations take over the country. That's what Trump did. If you like it, you're a communist. If you like it, you're a socialist. You're not a freedom fighter. You're not a conservative. I didn't switch sides. He switched sides. And now you're on the side of the wicked. You're on the side of the evil. And you don't even know. What side did I switch? Because I believe in freedom. You want me to be a communist? Trillions of dollars of loans is a good idea. I mean, the only way to fight the deep state is by setting your own supporters up at the Capitol. I believe in the free market, but when it shut down for 3 months under Trump and he was at the head of saying it should shut down, that's okay because I don't believe in anything. That's what you guys are. You don't believe in anything you talk about. It's all fake. It's all a facade. You are a worship cultist. I love Daddy Trump. When he does communism and vaccine sales, I don't morally agree with it, but he had to do it. So what side did I switch? I didn't switch a side. I don't agree with communism, and he ushered it in 8 months before Biden got here. My gosh. Trump brainwashed the right wing. People can't think straight. They've turned into communists. They don't even realize it. They're like, yeah, you switch sides. I pretend to stand up for the Constitution, but when you actually literally believe in what I pretend to believe in, it really upsets me. Then what do you believe in? Worshiping Trump. You don't believe in the First Amendment. I talk about how he infringed upon that. You don't believe in the Second Amendment. I talked about how he infringed upon that. You don't believe in the free market. I talked about how that shut down under Trump. You don't believe in economic liberty or whatever. This all went last year, and you don't believe in any of it. So what part of conservatism do you believe in? You don't believe in socially conservatism. You don't believe in fiscal conservatism. You don't believe in free market capitalism. You don't believe in conservatism. You believe in worshiping Trump like a god, and it's destroying this country. My gosh. Chester said, Trump would only get my vote if he had manned up and admitted he was wrong about the lockdowns. He never will. He doesn't care. I agree. DeSantis at least admits that. Trump will never do that. He'll just brag about black unemployment when literally no one cares anymore because the country locked down and millions of people still don't have jobs. It's nuts, man. I love America, but it's like, I wish there was a country that actually was what America pretended to be, because this country is not it anymore. But I don't have anywhere to go, so I'm staying here. Let's see if this could get on television. People, they actually are considering letting me say this on TV. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Someone said governors lock down the states. Jesus. Oh my gosh, Lakers. Do we have to go over it again? Yes, there's federalism. Yes, the states lock down. Trump signed the emergency order, signed the CARES Act, signed Operation Warp Speed, was the head of the coronavirus task force, put Fauci on television, called for the extension, told all the Republicans to listen to him. They all did. When Georgia actually opened up, Trump got upset with them and told them they should stay locked down. Trump was pressuring conservatives to lock down further than Georgia. Trump is complicit. Stop lying. Stop being a communist sympathizer. Stop lying. For Christ's sake, it's been a year and a half and you guys are still lying about it. Did governors shut down? Yes. Is Trump this innocent victim who was trying so hard? No, he was complicit on every level and he bragged about it and he signed every bill and he signed every executive order and he signed every emergency and he used his voice to tell them to stay shut down. So stop lying. You guys are pathological liars. You're no better than the left. You are the left. You're making excuses for communism and distorting history that just happened within the last 2 years. How are you any better than the left? You're just as big of liars. How many times are you going to lie about this stuff? You lied about it in March. You lied about it in April. You lied about it in May. You lied about it in June. I'm not even going to go live anymore. What's your solution? Is this the same live stream from 5,000 times ago? You guys just say the same 4 things on loop. What's my solution? Stop lying and just tell the truth. That's the solution. Stop lying and stop making excuses for communism. That's the truth. When you lose your freedom and when you lose your constitution and when Trump shuts down the free market, actually say something about it instead of like thanking him. Stop. That's the solution. This is the same live stream 1,000 times because people just lie and lie and lie. If you're going to lie about this, just unfollow me and go follow another liar. Why? I don't even understand it. It's like, how are we going to have the same conversation 1,000 times? This is so pathetic. What a pathetic country. It's not. Why do you think the left gets away with everything they do? Because the right is this weak and pathetic. It's all fake. The right is so fake. Oh, no, they're doing this to the children. Yeah, because you guys just sit there and watch them take over everything. You just sit there and make excuses for a vaccine salesman as they're doing all this stuff. There's no resistance. Governor Abbott rolls up and does his anti-Semitism executive order, acts like he's fighting free speech, and then tries to shut down a Christian application. They're all frauds, and you guys love it. What a joke. Someone said, stop giving into the fear. I'm not afraid if you're talking about other people. Someone said the truth hurts, but it's a good hurt. I mean, it's been a year and a half. What are people going to live their, it's unbelievable. I just can't believe it. Mind Flayer said, as frustrating as it might be, I'm glad you still hold your ground when people refuse to see the dual party tyranny. You're moving the needle for sure. I appreciate that. And I know I am. As much as people get annoyed, eventually people get it. And a lot of people do get it. They just don't want to say it. But at a certain point, it's what happened. I'm not going to sit here and let people lie about history. He had no part in it. It's like, my gosh. Someone said, because the supposed right doesn't stand up. Well, they not only don't stand up, they just follow people who don't do what they think they're doing. And as soon as they see evidence that it's not happening, they don't care. They get more. I'm going to say this for the 1,000th time. There's been more backlash against me for talking about free market capitalism, economics, freedom, not selling big pharma vaccines and giving them more power to just take over our society. There's been more opposition to me telling the truth about it than there was that it even happened. So why wouldn't it happen? And these people just complain about Ilhan Omar. No, it's the fact that conservatives are more upset when someone tells them the truth about what happened than they are that it happened. So why would it stop? It's not the left. The left, in my opinion, sucks. But they do what they do, and conservatives do nothing. They're do-nothings. They just complain about people, saying what happened. It's like the truth makes them more upset than actually standing up. It's so nuts. I can't believe it. People did a number. I don't know who people are watching and stuff, but someone said, bro, you could say what you would have done differently than Trump. I've said it a million times, but I don't play this role play game where I pretend like I'm Donald Trump. If you want me to play a role play game for you, yeah, at a certain point, I knew in my position the data of lockdowns early on, and he kept locking down. But I'm just saying, as a citizen, your job is not to make excuses for communism. I'm not playing a role play game. What if I was Trump? I just said 10 minutes ago, everything he did that was communist and completely anti-constitutional and screwed us over for generations to come. But I'm an American citizen. I'm a taxpayer. I have the First Amendment. So my job is not to sit and act like you and say, what would you have done? My job is to say, I don't agree with this. I don't stand for this. But everyone else runs in circles around them. So you don't get anything. You get what you deserve. What would you have done differently? I did what I wanted to do. I did real reporting. I got hundreds of millions of views doing the real reporting, trying to wake people up to the fact that Trump was turning into a communist. If I was president, I'm honorable. So I'm not going to, oh my God, he got threatened. This and that happened. It's like, so he's a coward. So he destroyed America because he was scared of getting hurt. It's like, then he's a coward. And so are you, if that's your logic. But it's like, if I was there, I don't know. Maybe I would have opened the country earlier. Maybe I wouldn't have signed the CARES Act. Maybe I wouldn't have said kick Thomas Massie out of the party. I certainly never would have done Operation Warp Speed. I never would have been a vaccine salesman. If I had to do Operation Warp Speed, Trump is a vaccine salesman. He said 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 times, Moderna, Pfizer. He's a fraud. And so is anybody who still follows him. It's such a joke. What a sad movement. Someone said Sweden didn't lock down. Data shows overall they fared better than us. And Trump was bad-mouthing Sweden. I said in April, Trump is a spokesperson for communism. Sweden is doing fine. Trump was bad-mouthing Sweden. He wasn't supporting free market capitalism. He was saying communism good, lockdowns good, Sweden bad. In 3 months, he psyoped conservatives into hating freedom. And they're like, yeah, James Woods, Jack Posobiec, God bless them. But they're spreading, oh my God, Sweden's so bad. Oh my God, they're all James Woods. Yeah, I love James Woods, but you're so conservative. You're crying about Sweden. Oh, Trump beat Sweden because he locked down. Look how many people are dying over there. They were lying the whole time. What does it mean to be a conservative if you have the top conservatives pointing at the only free country left in the Western Hemisphere saying, oh, they should have locked down like Trump. Trump saved the world. It's a fake movement with a bunch of, it's like, come on. What would I have done? What did I do? My gosh, dude, this is sad. It's unfortunate because everybody comes to America because there aren't really any other free countries left. And it's so clear to me that America is not going to be free for very long because conservatives they don't even want to keep freedom. It's crazy. You're like, yeah, that happened. And we're like, well, instead of actually standing up for myself, how about we just make excuses for communism? It's like, this country is not going to be free for very long. So have fun while you can, folks. These are the people that are supposed to defend your freedom. They're making excuses for literally the most corrupt movement in the last 50 years. They just are a PR team for it because their guy was in office. If the difference between me and all these other people, if Biden was in office, if Obama was in office, if Hillary was in office, if Romney was in office, I would have done the same exact reporting. I would have done the same exact analysis. I would have done the same exact videos, the same exact data, the same exact opposition, because I actually believe what I'm saying. If Obama did what Trump did, if Hillary did what Trump did, I would have said the same things I'm saying now and the same things I said in April. None of these people arguing with me would have said the same thing. No excuses for Biden doing this. No excuses for Hillary doing this. No excuse. They don't believe what they say. They just love Trump, so they make excuses. If Biden did what Trump did, I would have done the same reporting that I did. If Biden did what Trump did, you would have never made any of these excuses for Biden. The only way they could have got away with this is because people like Trump so much that they're going to sit here and make excuses for the most tyrannical lie of modern history because their guy did it. Their guy told you communism was good. Their guy said Sweden was bad. So why you're not going to be free for very long. Enjoy it because it's not going to last at this rate. If people want to wake up and actually be conservatives, then yeah, you'll probably be fine. But if this is the movement now, it's a Trump communist worship movement who makes excuses for big pharma tyranny. Good luck. You're going to need it. And I'll need it too because I have to live in this stupid country. I love America, but it's just pathetic. Someone said, will you be adding any tanks to the women's style? I love my God bless hat and want a shirt. I have tanks. I don't know if they're male or female. They might be bipartisan. Someone said, you're full of shit on this, bro. You're caving to Facebook. This has nothing to do with caving to Facebook. Talking about medical tyranny, telling the data, that's not easy to do. That's just as hard, if not harder to do than talking about Trump. People have been wiped off of social media for saying what I'm saying in a less eloquent way. This has nothing to do with caving to Facebook. I said it in March. I said it in April. This is about freedom. If you don't get this, there's something wrong, dude. What part do you not understand? I said this before Trump was even out of office. It has nothing to do with caving to Facebook. What does standing up for the First Amendment have to do with caving to Facebook? What does standing up for free market capitalism have to do with standing up to Facebook? What is accurately pointing out the fact that more communism came to America under Trump than Obama? How does that help it? People are turning into communist sympathizers because their guy did it. This has nothing to do with that. What? This is so crazy to me. I can't believe this is even happening. This is so crazy. It's so sad. This is such a, it's like, you would think that people actually care about freedom, but they're like, oh, you're caving to Facebook. I mean, yeah, thanks for pointing out my gosh. Someone said the world, this super chat, Miss Busy, the World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, and the Bilderberg Group own media, education, pharma. Trump, they elected Trump. Patriots are never supposed to follow anyone. Love you. Well, thank you for the super chat. I'm not, that's the opinion of, or the perspective of Miss Busy. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I know a lot of those groups have a lot of power and influence. I can't say who's working for who or if that was planned or not, but thank you for the super chat. Someone said you're like a 16-year-old high school girlfriend. This is so pathetic. It's like if you actually care about free, guys, you're like 2 years away from being full-blown slaves. Like you're going to sit here and spend the last I should get off here and go to the beach or something. You're going to spend the last 2 free years of your life making excuses for communism. Like, oh yeah, only a 16-year-old girlfriend would not want to be a slave. Only a 16-year-old girlfriend wouldn't want to be thrown to the gulags. Only a 16-year-old girlfriend wouldn't want your leader to set you up at the Capitol instead of draining the swamp. Only a 16-year-old leader wouldn't want you to funnel billions of dollars to big pharma. Only a 16-year-old leader wouldn't want trillions of dollars in the biggest wealth exchange in modern history. And then, your leader to tell you to kick the only guy who told the truth about it out of the Republic. Yeah, only a 16-year-old girl would want that. Yeah, that's so childish of me. Enjoy your last couple of free years because you're not going to get it for much longer. At this rate, you think these people, will Trump rush the vaccine? We're free now. You think you're free because of the vaccine? Are you not paying attention? Yeah, enjoy your free vaccine. You're real free. Just wait till the next 2 years. You thought this was bad? Just wait for what's coming. How are we going to be free when the conservative movement is this bad? Well, I'll listen to these people, but if you want freedom, what are you, a girl? Are you, a girl? Yeah, totally. I'm a high school girl. Someone said, has there ever been a president that you've liked? So it's not about who I like. I liked Trump at a certain point. I don't hate anybody. It's not about what I like. I don't want to be a slave. I'm not a slave. I'm not a peasant. I don't want to live in a communist country. Millions of people die. Millions of people starve. If America's not a first world country anymore, millions of people are going to suffer. It's not about who I like. Who cares? Oh, I like George Washington. Who cares? I like Abe Lincoln. Who cares? It's not about what I like. I don't want to be a slave. Do you not realize what happened last year? Do you not realize where this is heading? Who do I like? Who cares? It's not about what I like. It's not about what I say. It's not even about my opinions. I'm just trying to let people know you're going to get what you asked for. If this is what you want, you're going to get it. But it's not going to be a Trump MAGA rally. It's going to be worse than what it is now. The country is still not free. If you want to go to Hawaii, you have to get a test there and a test back. If you want to cruise out of anywhere in the country, even now Florida, they're doing vaccination segregation or they're banning you outright. If you want to fly, you have to wear a mask. We've lost more freedom over the past 3 years across all 50 states than we have in modern history, and they have no plans on giving it back. They only have plans on Delta variant task forces across the country. Is Trump talking about that? Trump doesn't give a fuck about that, guys. He's just going to run you in circles and you're going to get shut down again. And they're going to shut down Trump. Like, this is you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't have that much longer left. So I hope you enjoy it. And I'm not trying to scare people, but it's like, I thought there were actually people in the country who cared, but apparently not. Apparently I'm a 16-year-old girl. So it's like, you lost more freedom in the last year and a half than you have in the last 50 years. And I'm a bad guy for mentioning it. No, and Emily, we're free in Florida. It's like, for now, slightly, you're slightly less free than you were in 2019. So yeah, you lost ground, but you lost less ground than the Democrats. That's the name of the game. That's the Republican Party. Yeah, we're losing. Yeah, we're losing ground, but heck, if I say we're losing less ground than the Democrats, here's a crazy idea. I'm just going to throw it out there. You can get mad at me if you want. I don't care. What if Republicans didn't lose? What if you didn't lose ground? Did you know that it's possible to stop losing? You could, but if someone says to stop losing and you say, I love losing, I'm addicted to losing, get out of the way, anomaly, we want to lose more ground, then you're going to keep losing. That's the name of the game. Republicans say, yeah, we lose, but heck, it's way more classy. When Trump lost more ground than Obama, he put on a damn good show. Yeah, we're losing ground in Florida, but not as much as California. Yeah, we're about to lose Texas. I mean, if you look at elections in Texas, they used to win by 20 points. Now they're barely beating Beto O'Rourke. You're going to lose that soon. Yeah, we're losing soon. And the only Republican we have is a guy who's trying to kick off a Christian social media application and pretend to be a Christian. Oh yeah, but that's fine because when we lose, it feels good. It's like then what do you expect? People love losing. I can't believe it. I think losing freedom is unsustainable. I mean, 2020 was unsustainable. Printing trillions of dollars is unsustainable. But if you want to lose, I mean, who am I to stop you? I just got to figure out a state where people don't want to lose because I don't know. I'll figure it out. Someone said it's fraud. That's why we lost. I'm not even talking about an election, though. You lost more freedom under 20. People have been, not trying to be mean. People have been programmed to just say the same things on repeat. I'm not talking about an election. In 2020, under Donald J. Trump, before the election, you lost more freedom than under 8 years of Obama. So even if Donald Trump did win the election that you think is fraudulent, he wouldn't have been stopping any of this crap anyway. He wouldn't have done anything about this. You think he would have done anything about all this stuff? He had 8 months to do it before and he didn't do it. He had 3 months after the election to do it and he didn't do it. He couldn't stop any of this. He helped start it, but he couldn't stop it. So I'm not even talking about the election. Even if people only want to, well, it was stolen. The country was stolen in March 2020. If you don't have a country, you're not going to have an election. So I'm not even talking about the election, but people can't talk about anything but the election. If Trump would have won in 2021, you think nothing would have changed as far as the lockdowns or the variants. None of this would have changed. Gas prices would have been lower. Stocks probably would have been a little bit higher. That's it. Maybe he would have got some judges. That's it. There was nothing he was going to do to blow your mind if he was president. Higher gas prices, better taxes, slightly better recovering economy. B. Lynn said, I'm here wondering what the hell I should do. Hire ninjas. What are we supposed to do? No, I'm not trying to scare. I'm trying to wake people up to the fact that I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not afraid. I'm just saying I don't know. What do you think is going to happen if the Republican Conservative Party just loses all the time? I'm trying to motivate people to just stop losing peacefully, respectfully, but just it doesn't take a big act. You don't have to go to the Capitol, follow the vaccine salesman and get set up by the feds. You don't have to do that. That's stupid. That's what Trump told you to do. I'm just saying, just stop believing these liars and put your foot down peacefully and just stop loving it so much. If you love it so much, they'll keep giving it to you. People love losing. They love being lied to. So why would you don't have to go to the Capitol and get set up trusting the plan. You just have to sit there, do your work, do your job, and just stop buying into this crap. That's all you have to do. It's really that simple. They do it because no one knows they're doing it. And when someone realizes they're doing it, everyone gets mad at them. The Trump movement, the Republican movement, they're addicted to it. They don't want anyone to tell them otherwise. So I'm not blaming Trump. I'm blaming the base. I'm not blaming all conservatives. Most conservatives are great people. I'm just you get what you want. I don't know. If I don't want to wear a mask, I don't wear a mask. It's not I'm not doing it. If I have to fly, I have to fly. But besides that, or if I go in a doctor's office and I really need something done, besides that, it's it's up to you. You get what you want. If you want that, you'll get it. I don't know. If you don't think 2020 was that bad under Trump, then I won't feel bad when they bring it back again, whether it's Trump or Biden. Someone said can't win if they cheat. I'm not even talking about the election, though. I'm talking about under Trump, this all happened. If Trump was in office, none of this was changing. The variants wouldn't be different. The vaccines wouldn't be different. The only thing that would be different was the gas price would probably be lower, and he could get judges in. He was not changing any of this stuff. This didn't start under Biden. It's a fake hallucination from Trump supporters that Biden brought this in. Biden did the lockdown in 2020. No, Trump did the lockdown in 2020. Biden's senile behind just got in 2021, and he just stands up there and stutters, and somebody else is running the show. Biden didn't bring this. He's just maintaining whatever the last administration did, and Fauci and all these people that superseded the last administration. This didn't start under Trump. I don't want to talk. Everybody talks about the election all the time. That's fine. Can we talk about the lockdowns? Because if you have 100 million people who can't even come to consideration that even if Trump won, this wasn't going away, then we don't have a country. Someone said, I agree with you. I fought so hard for Trump. I can't read the whole comment, but thank you so much. Michael said, dude, you're so wrong. Then I still am trying to figure out what I'm wrong about. Well, let me know. But not everyone's going to agree. That's fine. Someone said our problem is that the common citizen doesn't think they can anything. We could start change by us getting into local government and affecting change. Thanks for the super chat. Someone said, is there a way to create a website that cannot be taken down or censored? Yeah, there's people who have websites, I think. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just fired up, though. Someone said Fauci was allowed to lie to us. Yeah, but I don't like Fauci. I agree. Remember breaths of oxygen in between rants. Someone said Steve Bannon is calling out the betrayal of Republicans. Good for him. I haven't listened, but someone said it's in everyone's best interest to be moderate. Yeah, I guess depending on what moderate means, I hear you, but it's like they put you in these thought bubbles. So the left, it's like, brainwashing is when you just repeat everything and people believe it. The left is in like a thought bubble. You get what I'm saying? They think all these things, but they're incapable of being challenged. It's like they think that it makes them look Republican to wear a mask. They think that everybody's racist all the time. They're mind controlled. They're incapable of like having real discussions because the left wing is controlled in this binary thought bubble, and they've been told all these things. So the whole world is all over the place. There's all these conversations, discussions we can have, and their thought bubble is right here. And it's the same with Trump. The thing is, I think conservatives actually understand more, and there's a little bit bigger bubble, and there's more diversity of thought in there, but they're still trapped in the Trump bubble. So I talk about 2020. They want to talk about the election. We could talk about the election. Everyone talks about the election, but I'm one of the only ones who's saying what I'm saying. Trump was incapable of stopping this. Trump helped usher it in, sold vaccines. He was not capable of stopping this in 2020. So the point I'm trying to make is people can't get outside the bubble. They're like, well, I just want to say the same thing, 5 things all the time. It's like, that's fine. But I'm just saying, even if Trump did win the election, none of this was going away anyway. And it's never going to go away because conservatives are caught in the Trump bubble, and Trump doesn't talk about this stuff. So no one talks about this stuff because Trump controls the train of thought of 50 million people. So if you break that bubble with a conversation outside of it, people freak out at you. They call you a CCP agent. I am against communism. That's why I don't like 2020. Doesn't make any sense. Someone said, please stop promoting Sweden. I'm not promoting Sweden. I'm just saying Sweden was one of the only countries that didn't lock down. They weren't doing mask mandates. And Trump used his platform to say that they're bad. Sweden's bad because they actually did more to preserve freedom. I'm not saying everything they're doing is right. It's clearly not, but that's the point I'm making. Someone said, at least we got the Supreme Court. I mean, I agree, but now Trump's on television being like, the Supreme Court sucks. It's like, bro, you put like half of them there, 3 of them there. It's all a show. He's like, man, that general's so bad. You hired General Milley. Oh, critical race theory is so bad. General, oh man, if I was in charge, You were in charge and you put them there. Man, the Supreme Court sucks because they didn't overturn the election for me. The Supreme Court sucks. Bro, you put 2 or 3 of them there. How come they're not weighing in on the lockdowns? How come they're not weighing in on the Supreme Court's not doing shit and Trump put like 3 of them there? It's all like a show. Man, if I was in office, I'd do something about big tech. But while I was in office, I was having dinners with Zuckerberg. But now I know. Come on, guys. Like, is this what people want? He didn't know. He didn't know. Anomaly, he had to do it. Anomaly, he didn't know. He's the smartest guy in the world. He just didn't know anything. He keeps getting fooled. Jared Kushner's running it, and he just didn't know. He's super smart. He just doesn't know anything. Someone tried to tell me the other day. Okay, I had a tweet because Kodak Black, the rapper that Trump pardoned, he threw $100,000 into the ocean. I don't know if it was real or not, but they have this video of him throwing $100,000 in the ocean. And I made a joke and I said, Trump pardoned this guy before he pardoned Assange and Snowden. And it was getting a lot of retweets. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, it was not a big political statement. I just thought it was funny. Someone responds to me and they say, Anomaly, Trump didn't know. He didn't know about Assange and Snowden. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, guys, you love Trump so much that you get mad when I mention his name, but you think he's so stupid that he doesn't even know who Julian Assange and Edward Snowden is. Trump's not that stupid. Of course he knows who Julian Assange is. Of course he knows who Edward Snowden is. If you actually know Trump and listen to Trump, he's not a fan of whistleblowers. You know, he's never liked whistleblowers. He's never really liked Snowden. He only liked Julian Assange because Julian Assange helped him win the election inadvertently, probably with his reporting. So Trump used WikiLeaks, and then when he gets in office, he doesn't know who WikiLeaks is. He knows who WikiLeaks is. He knows who Julian Assange is. He knows who Edward Snowden is. And these people who get mad at me because they love Trump so much, they then turn around and tell me that they literally think Trump is too stupid to know who Edward Snowden is. And I'm not even saying he should have pardoned them. I'm just making a political joke. So what does it mean to love somebody if you think he's too stupid to know who Edward Snowden is? What does it mean to obsess over somebody if you think he's too dumb and too foolish to ever do the right thing because he's constantly being fooled? You don't think he's smart. I'm nicer to Trump than you guys are. I think he's smart. I think he's very wise. I just think he's not doing what people think he's doing. I'm not that mad. I'm more annoyed that people don't get it. It's like, you get what I'm saying? It's a weird relationship you guys have with Trump. I think he's like very smart. I just think he's also like very, very Trump. He's got pros and cons. But like other people are like, he's so smart. He just doesn't know who Julian Assange is. He knows who Julian Assange is. Like, make a better excuse. Like, people they're running out of excuses to make for Trump. If he didn't do the vaccine, how are we going to be free? He doesn't even know who Edward Snowden is. The president of the United States doesn't know who Edward Snowden is. Of course he knows who Edward Snowden is. He just doesn't want to pardon him because he doesn't like whistleblowers, probably. It's so crazy, like the excuses Trump supporters make. I think that's mean. I think it's mean to think he's that dumb. I don't think he's that dumb. Someone said the conservative movement is more than Trump. I know it is. I'm just a little feisty and fiery. I know it is. I'm seeing people get ratioed on Trump pages. Someone said, do you ever do videos without Trump bashing? Might actually listen to you. I do, and I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying what happened. I'm accurately saying history. I don't hate him. I just think the demise of the conservative movement is going to be if they don't actually conserve anything. And that doesn't start just with Trump. It starts with people's response to Trump. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not bashing him. If you love that, you'll get it. If you want it again, you can get another lockdown. Let's bring 2020 back. Oh man, we got to get back to 2020. The lockdown, you want that guy? Then I guess you can get it. I'm not bashing him. But also the joke I was making was not bashing him. I was complimenting him. I think Trump is smart. Trump supporters who say that I'm bashing him say that he's too stupid to know who Edward Snowden is. That's not me bashing Trump. I'm defending him. He's not dumb. Trump supporters love him, but when he doesn't do what they want him to do, they'll then say he's too dumb to know what he's doing. That's like the number one excuse. He's a fool. He's too dumb. He's too foolish. He doesn't know what he's doing. Jared Kushner's running the show. It's like, How could you love somebody so much, yet you think they're too dumb to know what they're doing? I think that's mean. You think I'm bashing Trump? I think you're bashing Trump. I'm defending him. He's not dumb. Madeline said, does anybody understand the election fraud occurred because of the lockdown? Trump looked bad off the charts, but he allowed it. He still says he saved millions. Shaking my head. Well, that's why I don't feel that bad for him. I feel bad for our country. But if you think something happened during the election and you're going to go with that theory, who was in charge of all this stuff that rolled out? He didn't really fight it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a show. Trump doesn't condemn Q because he does the same thing that Q does. Q dangles a carrot in front of your face and says, here it comes, trust the plan. And it dangles in front of your face and says, we're almost there. Here we come. It's going to happen. And then the lockdown happens. And then no one does anything about the lockdown because Q says, yeah, I was wrong, but I was right. Here it comes. And they do the Q carrot. And then it's like, here comes the election. And then it's like, come to the Capitol. And people come to the Capitol. And then it's like, trust the plan in March. So Q is dangling a carrot telling you, ooh, it's going to happen any day now. Just wait. And you try to eat the carrot and it just keeps going further because there's someone standing on your back with a fishing pole with a carrot. You're never going to get there because that's the whole design. Anyway, that's what Trump does the same thing as Q. That's why it's like a match made in heaven because Trump says, I'm going to come for Zuckerberg. Ooh, we're going to fight big tech. And then he passes an anti-Semitism speech law that's totally unconstitutional and the exact opposite of fighting big tech. Oh, here we go. I'm going to get him. And then, he's like, ooh, lockdown, but ooh, I'm going to open the country. Oh, I'm going to open the country. And then when the time to open the country goes, he's like, I'm going to lock down again. And then he's like, hydroxychloroquine. And then as soon as it becomes clutch to stand by that, he's like, I'll just sell the vaccine instead. And then it's like, here it comes. And, and then it's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get him. Am I going to run? Am I going to run? I might run. I might not. Should I run? I might run. Should I? I mean, I was doing dinners with Zuckerberg. How foolish of me. I should have known better. Zuckerberg, I thought you were my friend in 2020. You really told me I was a special guy and I was doing so good on Facebook. I was number one. But if I run again in 2024, no more Mr. Nice Guy from Trump. Should I run? Let me take a poll. Should I run? 4 more years. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'll run. Maybe I won't. He's just like Q. He does the same thing. He's always just like trolling in a funny way where it's like, he's like, I'm coming for the deep state. Here I come. Oh, no, never mind. That was my supporters who got arrested. Okay. Oh, well. Oh, no, never mind. No, okay. False alarm. Never mind. It's like a never ending like Tom and Jerry episode. It's funny. It's just unfortunate. Someone said, make a shirt that says, but anomaly you don't understand. That's pretty funny. It's funny. I don't know. It is funny. It's making, I see though on Trump pages, I see on big pro Trump pages, a lot of people are tired of it. Honestly, it's not that they're tired of Trump. We appreciate what Trump did, but at a certain point, it's like, if you don't get the biggest issue in the country, people are going to get tired of it. Like, people are dealing with lockdowns and vaccination segregation. That's got to be the number one issue in the country right now, vaccination segregation. Raise your hand if your employer's threatening you over a vaccine or lockdown or masks. I mean, this is like taking over our country. Lockdowns, vaccination segregation, mask mandates, mass testing, like global psychosis. And he barely talks about it. So it's not just me. People get mad at me, but like a lot of people are getting tired of it because it makes sense to get tired of it. Like, why would you want to watch an episode of dangling a carrot in front of your face when this guy was there for 8 months, didn't do anything, still isn't talking about it, but just dangling the carrot? Like at a certain point, you just get tired of this stupid game show. It's funny, but it's at a certain point, people stop having fun with it. So Albert said, you skipped my super chat. Sorry, Albert, I didn't see it. Someone said a year or so ago when Q started, I was losing faith in Trump. People were so into those drops that he should have addressed it one way or another. Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. Someone said, trust the plan. it's a movement that makes him look like a superhero. He has, like, you got to understand, like, politics can be boring sometimes. Like, I don't know this for sure. I don't know these people directly, but, Dan Scavino is Trump's social media guy. You think he doesn't like that? People who loves Dan Scavino more than Q people? Like, imagine if you're a fan of like Chris Paul or like, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I said his name right. Like, imagine you're a fan of LeBron James and everybody's like, LeBron James is a god. LeBron James is a god. Do you think LeBron James is going to look into the stands and be like, hey, I condemn those people that say I'm a god. I'm only a human. Okay. I'm doing my best out here. You don't condemn your biggest fans. You just let them be fans. So I don't think Trump condemns Q because they're his voters and they're his fans. They're his biggest fans. Why would you condemn his fans? Someone said you laughed at the watermark ballots. That's not true. I always said that there's a possibility that ballots could be watermarked. What I laughed at was liars like, what's that guy's name? Steve, whatever. He went on InfoWars and started a viral hoax. He said that every watermark was ballot and Trump guys were already on it and Trump was going to be in office on January 20th and Biden was going to be arrested. The same guy who pushed that hoax, he also told Alex Jones that the Trump would be in office on the 20th and Biden was going to get arrested. He said that on Alex Jones's show. So I never laughed at the fact that there could be watermark ballots. I laughed at the fact that Q people and Steve Piesnek started a huge viral psyop lie telling people that Trump was going to still be in office on the 20th after the inauguration because they had secretly caught them in a sting operation. There was no watermark ballot sting operation. That was always a lie. So I laughed at that because it was an obvious psyop lie, and it still is an obvious psyop lie. There's a difference between, oh, my ballot has a watermark in it versus, oh, we caught them in a secret sting operation and we have every single thing and we know that they did that. They didn't know shit. That's why Trump's not in the office now. So I never said it's not a possibility that there's watermarked ballots, but that was a lie. That was a psyop, and that specific psyop got 50 million views. Every conservative was talking about it. They're like, dude, did you hear that Trump caught them in a sting operation? There was no sting operation. That was always a lie. This is what I'm trying to say. People fall for these lies all the time. It's okay. I got to go in 5 minutes. I'm talking too much. But people can believe this for 5 years. Like, it's going to be 2027. We're going to be in the gulag somewhere. And it's going to be like, people are going to be like, dude, those watermark ballots any day now. Trust the plan, man. Nancy Super Chat said Trump is a textbook narcissist with a sick, twisted view of success. He brought up all this crap unapologetically. Thank you for the Super Chat, Nancy. Thank you for your opinion. I try to be nice, but someone said Q said you have to lose freedom and gain. It's a psyop. It made people think that military martial law is a secret sting operation. Oh, martial law, that's the only way we could be free. The only way we could be free is with martial law. Oh, yeah. When martial law comes, you're going to be really free, Q people. Just keep trusting the plan. Come on, guys. Someone said you're feisty today. I am. I need to drink more water. And I need to go soon. What time is it? I'm going to read this. Do I honestly think Biden is not corrupt? No, I think Biden is corrupt. I think Biden's horrible. I think he's the most delusional president we've ever had, and I don't even think he's going to last for 4 years. And I think his team knows that as well, because I just think they've already talked about replacing him just because he seems like tired and stuttery, So I wish him the best, but I think they're pretty close to wheeling him out into a rocking chair and putting in Kamala. So do I think that Biden is not corrupt? Of course I think he's corrupt. But this is what I'm talking about. I don't mind the question, but it's like either you love Trump or you love Biden. Either you obsess over Trump or you like Biden. Oh, you think Biden's good because you mentioned the lockdown in 2020? No, these are different things that you're allowed to think. You can vote for Trump, but you don't have to agree with it. You can say that 2020 was a mess, but that doesn't mean you like Biden. This is the game they play with people, where it's like you have to be one or the other. And if you're not that, you must be that. You got liberals calling me a Russian agent. I've never even been to Russia. I'm not Russian. If I was Russian, who cares? There's people who've been to Russia who are Russian. who aren't Russian agents, but I have nothing to do with Russia. They call me a Russian agent. You have right-wingers calling me a CCP agent. You have other people calling me a Mossad agent. That's 3 different nations that people are accusing me of being an agent for the crime of just not saying things that everyone else is saying. Like, you get what I'm saying? This is how bad politics is getting. If you disagree with the left, you must be a Russian agent. If you disagree with the right, you must be a CCP agent. If you disagree with the Q people, they call you a Mossad agent, even though they fantasize over Zionists like saving their world. It's like, how is everyone who disagrees with you a Mossad agent when you worship the most pro-Israel politicians in the country? It doesn't even make sense. But it's like everyone can't handle like a conversation. It doesn't make you left or right. If you don't agree with everything that the Q guy says, it doesn't make you an agent. It's like people are like freaking out. I get it, but someone said I should do ASMR. There's a lot of things I should probably do. I don't know if that's one of them though. It's so wild. Someone said anomaly. Someone is posting your YouTube links to articles on Revolver News. You're catching on? Really? Shout out to Darren Beatty. That's a good guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems to get everything I'm talking about pretty clearly. So shout out to Revolver News. Let me see. Revolver.news anomaly. All right. I don't like being in the news though, because I feel like anomaly Revolver News. Send me a video of I don't know where to find anomaly. I don't see it, but let me know what article I'm in. I'll check it out. Someone said the Q movement is far from Zionist. What are you talking about? Serve it to a friend. I'm not saying that everyone in it is. What I'm saying is Q people obsess over Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo is one of the most proud Zionists in the Republican Party. He's extremely pro-Israel. That's not even debatable. So if you're a Q movement and you're fantasizing over Donald Trump being Aquaman and Mike Pompeo being Robin to Batman, you're worshiping Zionists. I'm not saying that we're saving Israel for last. Oh yeah, sure you are. You're saving Israel for last, just like you're arresting the pedophiles. None of it's happening. You're just following Zionist Republicans in circles. I'm not saying if you love that, that's fine. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying if you drool over Mike Pompeo tweeting about Iran, that's what you're doing. I'm not saying you support it personally or you don't. I don't care who you support. I don't care if you're an Israeli activist or a Palestinian activist. But I'm just saying the Q people drool and worship Mike Pompeo, Trump, all these people, and they're all very pro-Israel, proud Zionists. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's try to end on a good note. We always try to end on a good note. Someone said, listening to you has a way of motivating me. Thank you, Star Lily. That's what it's about. Before we were getting jacked, I worked out a little bit today because my muscles have been, because of my thumb. I'm going to start working out again. We're going to get motivational. I'm trying to, listen, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to scare people. Someone's like, should I get ninjas for my house? I was like, I don't even know what that means. But no, I'm just saying, I want people to be aware. And also, I try to motivate people. I mean, I could take you could get mad at me and stuff. That's fine. I don't even care. I'm trying to get to a point where people want to have this conversation. All right, let's read one more and then I'm out. Someone said Anomaly is 100% inspirational. Let's make them as wealthy as Bezos. I don't want to be as wealthy as Bezos. I wouldn't wish that on myself. It's too much money. It's too much power. I don't want that much money or power. It's too much. That's why Bezos, you ever see that picture of Bezos where he's in a robot? He's literally in a robot and he's just like, he looks so happy. I'm like, holy shit. Excuse my language. That's the last thing I want to see. I'm just like walking down the street and I see Jeff Bezos in a robot. I'm that's the level of power that you just, I don't seek that. I don't want that. You got to be a certain breed. I want to be left alone. I want to be wealthy enough to be free and not poor and not have to worry about, having generational wealth is nice. Knowing that your kids and your kids' kids will be settled, but not too settled that they become spoiled. That's all I want. So appreciate y'all on Patreon. Everybody on Facebook supporters, everybody gets a free 3-pack of stickers if you order it within the next week if you're on Patreon. But I don't need Bezos money. I don't need anything. I'll do with whatever I have. But I would like an amount that I'm good. Like they call it FU money. If you've ever heard that, someone said FU money, where you could say FU to anybody and just like you don't have to work for anybody. That's the type of money I want. Enough FU money. Chad said, now I know you lied. I don't know what you're talking about. Jen said, stop cherry picking the comments. Somebody wants to debate you. Jen, I know people think I dodge comments and I don't read certain things, but you have to understand I have over 1,300 people right now on 2 streams combined, the combination. I have thousands of Facebook comments. I have thousands of YouTube comments. I have double streams. I'm pretty on it, but you have to understand it's not even physically possible to read every comment. I have 2 different streams going on, my Facebook and my YouTube. So I don't mind the competition. I don't mind the debate. I don't mind if people say mean things to me. If they say, Anomaly, you look like a girl, whatever, you're a teenage woman. It doesn't bother me. But if I'm not reading a comment, it's not because I'm dodging. I literally can't see everything. And I try to go to things that are interesting to me, even if it's stupid or I don't like it. If they say something mean, I actually find disses of me good. As long as people don't get too mean about it, I find it funny. As long as it's funny or if it's like witty or interesting. But OHM says, this guy thinks being a YouTube sensation for a bit deserves him FU money. I didn't say I deserve anything. I didn't say I deserve. I didn't say I deserve that. I deserve FU money because I'm a YouTube star. I didn't say that. I said, people said, let's make Anomaly rich. And I said, I don't want to be Jeff Bezos rich. I just want FU money, but I'm grateful for what I have. I didn't say I deserve it. You said that. I don't think I deserve it because I'm a Facebook and a YouTube star. I think there's money to be made on the internet. So if I'm doing it, it would be nice to succeed and not go broke. I didn't say I deserve it. Technically, I don't know. I've anything could happen. I'm not. Someone said Anomaly. Somebody told me we look alike, and I'm starting to agree. Ricky, I can't see your profile picture, but I can only assume it looks good. No, I'm just kidding. I've met a guy in person who looked very similar to me, and it was creeping me out. I felt like I was looking in the mirror. He was like, I like your videos. And I was like, dang, this guy kind of looks like me. It was pretty wild. Thank you, Brian. Someone said, I said he deserves it, not you. I mean, I'm grateful for what I have. I've been blessed. Like, one good thing about not having everything is when you don't have that much and then you get it, you're usually very appreciative of it. Sometimes when you have stuff too much, you become not appreciative for it. So, I'm grateful for what I have. You could always have more, you could always have left, but I don't want more money right now because I want to spend more money. I don't need anything. I'm actually doing pretty well. I think, people have Roth IRAs, 401ks. I don't have a 401k. I'm getting a Roth IRA, I think. But, these are things I think about. I don't need anything. I don't deserve anything. But as a human who understands how Earth works, I would like to have FU money. In a way, I do have FU money now. Not enough where I could literally just forever say FU, but enough where I don't not say what I don't want to say. I say exactly what I want to say. And if I were to lose everything I had overnight, it would suck. I would not be rich forever. I would not be stable forever, but I have enough money where I could go a long enough time to figure out what I would do next. And, that's power in some ways. It's like, if you're working paycheck to paycheck, you don't have to do anything. Before I even did this, This translates to like jobs too. When I used to need a job, I didn't have the money to say no, so I tried to get the job no matter what, and I would do things that I didn't even want to do in terms of like work hours and stuff and travel because I needed the money. And then at a certain point, I got enough money to say, I don't need this job. I don't even want this job. And it is power in a way, because when you need a job, you'll do. This guy was like a dentist office. He's like, you know, we want you to do the social media. And I'm a hustler. So I was like, I'll do my stuff and I'll do someone else's social media if I can make money and I like what they're doing. And he's trying to give me this crappy deal. He's like, do this, do this, do this. And I want you to come to the office 4 days a week. I was like, dude, I don't have time to do it. He's like, well, that's the job. I'm like, you're not listening to me. I was like, I literally won't do that because I literally can't do that. And it's not enough money. And even if it was, I'm not doing that. So, you know, there is power in having enough money to say no, you know, to somebody else that's trying to pay you. I think that's to bring back politics. I think that's what made Trump appealing at first. He had so much money that he didn't have to take anyone else's. Someone said, what did Trump do that was communist? The 15 days to slow the spread, locking the country down. This combination of things that he did, I believe, was communist. When you are the top of the pyramid of the implementation of shutting the country down, which Trump was, Fauci, Trump, they were all, we got to do this. Just hunker down. Let's do it. You know, you do it, you do it. We're all going to do this together. Locking the country down. Certain companies could operate. Certain companies couldn't operate. Certain companies they demanded that they make ventilators. And there was one company that didn't want to make ventilators at the price. And Trump was basically, you know, I won't say threatening them, but telling them, we could use this emergency power on you. Don't make us use it. So he basically like pushed them to make a product that they don't normally make for him. And the ventilators ended up being trash. So that was a communist move, in my opinion, was shutting down these businesses, telling that business they had to make a product that they don't normally make that ended up not even working and hurting people. And then he printed trillions of dollars. So printing trillions of dollars is like an exchange of wealth. It's like a giant theft. You get this money, you get this money, and trillions of dollars are printed. That whole couple months was straight up communist, you know? Total control over economics, total control over private businesses, total control over, in some ways, like travel, what you could and couldn't do. So was it full-blown communist? No, I don't think so. Was it pretty communist? You know, like bordering on the lines of that's beyond socialism? Yeah, I would say it's kind of communist. Is he one? Or someone said, you're trying to explain why Trump locked the country down when you have no idea on the reason? Donna, let's not do this because my throat is starting to get sore. I'm not a slave, okay? Slaves get locked down. Prisoners get locked down. Are you a prisoner? I don't think you are. You probably wouldn't be on Facebook. Are you a slave? I don't think you are. You're not. I'm not a slave. I'm not a prisoner. So I don't care. I don't care why we're getting locked down. I'm not a slave and I'm not a prisoner. So I reject it completely. Apparently you like that. So you get what I'm saying? It's like, thank you, daddy. Can I have another? You don't know why he treated us like that. I mean, you don't know why he was doing communism. You don't know why he treated people like prisoners. You don't know why he printed trillions of dollars. I don't give a shit because I'm not a slave. But if people want to be treated like that and make excuses for that, don't cry about the Democrats. If you want that, if everybody had my attitude and said, I'm not a slave, we would have never been a slave. You know, there's businesses like Basilicos who they didn't shut down for a single day. If every Trump supporter did what Basilicos did, there would have been no lockdown. But nobody has any you-know-whats. So everybody just not only doesn't do anything about it, they make excuses for it. I'm not a slave. I'm not a prisoner. I don't care. You could tell me it's for my health. You could tell me it's for these people. You could tell me you had to, you wanted to, you got fooled. I don't care because I'm not, you get what I'm saying? Unless we're not free anymore, then we're not free. Then we are slaves and we are prisoners and we just got to cope with it. So I don't understand the argument you're trying to make. Like you're making excuses for, in my opinion, human slavery. So why wouldn't they do that again when you love it? I don't get it. I don't know why he did it. Okay. I wonder why Obama did Obamacare. Maybe Obama did Obamacare Maybe Obama had to do Obamacare. It's not Obama's fault. He didn't mean to do Obamacare. It was Mitt Romney's Obamacare. And would you ever make this excuse for Obama? Yeah, I'm sure Obama's whole 8 years was like 80% puppetry. I'm sure he couldn't do anything because the people running the show did. Would you sit here on my live stream and make excuses for Obama and George Bush and Bill Clinton? Of course not. Only Trump. Trump is the idol of the right. Well, normally, I mean, of course I didn't like Obama, but let me tell you why you don't even know why he did that. I mean, yeah, he screwed up your healthcare, but you don't know why Obama did that. You would never do that, only for Trump. You don't know why he did the lockdown. Who cares? Do you agree with it or do you disagree? What does it mean to be a voter and a tax-paying citizen if you don't actually believe in anything? If your guy does something you don't like, and instead of saying you don't like it, you just say, yeah, but you don't know why he did it. Maybe... I don't. Okay. This is why conservatives don't do anything. Someone said, I remember a gym owner didn't shut down. Yeah, there were like 3 gyms in the whole country out of like 10,000. I know probably 50% of gyms are owned by conservatives. How come they didn't do anything? Because they sit down and they watch Trump and their whole life is Trump. Nobody lives their own life. They're like, well, you don't know why Trump locked down, so I'll lock down. If people didn't lock down, there would have been no lockdown. But this is what people do. I don't care. Unless we're just giving up our sovereignty, then let's just give up our sovereignty then. And then we'll speculate on why they did it. I don't know why George Washington crossed the river too. He should have just stayed home. George Washington should have just stayed home. I don't know why John Wilkes Booth killed Abraham Lincoln. I mean, Anomaly, don't condemn that. You don't know why he did that. You don't know why John Wilkes Booth did that, Anomaly. Like, yeah, I don't agree with it. Yeah, it's wrong. But do you know why he did it? Do you know why? Do you care why? Or do you just say you shouldn't have murdered Abraham Lincoln? Like, Anomaly, you don't know why Trump did that. It's like, what? This is not even a thing. No one would do this for any other politician. It's gotten bad. And this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy where the left is trying to call you guys crazy. And you're starting to act kind of crazy. So you're going to screw over your own life. Like, they're trying to act like you've lost your mind. And you're telling me, Anomaly, I am that crazy. And it's like, I know people aren't crazy and I know they're peaceful and I know they're harmless, but they're trying to call you extremists right now. And instead of acting normal and sane and actually believing in stuff, you guys are just making excuses for things you don't even morally or ethically agree with just because some guy in office did it. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like the left wants you to act a certain way. You're acting that way. I'm not saying it's like a bad or violent thing. It's not, but I'm just saying, like, don't you think you should make sense right now? They're saying you don't make sense and you don't make sense. The left doesn't make sense. No one makes sense anymore. My gosh. So Isabel said it was up to the states. Does anyone get Isbeth? We've only had this conversation 10 million times, and I've told the truth every time, and people just can't grasp it. But maybe we'll do that. Maybe I won't make videos anymore. I'll just say the same thing on loop and argue with Trump supporters who literally don't care about anything anymore. They just want to say the same 5 things. My gosh. Someone said on the other side, we could have a vax that would take 5 years and still be on lockdown. I know, jab, just a thought. Michelle, you got to, I hope you're being sarcastic. What are you talking about? If a vaccine would have taken 5 years like they normally do, you think they would have locked you down for 5 years? You think conservatives would have stayed locked down for 5 years? This is like a slave mentality. Like, I mean, Trump saved my life with the vaccine. The only way I could be free is if Pfizer and Moderna get a lot of power and money, because once they get power and money, they're really going to give it back to us. You're never getting it back because you gave it up and you make excuses for it. My gosh, the Trump movement is insanely pathetic right now. He did not set you free with a vaccine. That's a stupid, brainwashed Trump supporter comment that people are coping with the fact he gave up your sovereignty to Big Pharma. So now you're acting like he saved your life. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. When somebody imprisons you and you act like they're your best friend, it's called Stockholm Syndrome. He didn't save your life with a vaccine. You wouldn't have been locked down for 5 years without a vaccine. The vaccine is part of it. First, they did the lockdown. Watch the Chris Sky video. He nails it. It's not, oh, he did the vaccine to set us free. First, they did the lockdown. Then they did the mask mandate. Then they gave you the vaccine. Now they have vaccine passports and they're trying to do vaccine checks just like they did mask checks. They're hand in hand. He didn't help you with the vaccine. He screwed you over. And they're using the vaccine to segregate society, to block you from travel, to block you from sporting events, to block you from eventually could be supermarkets. He didn't save your life with the vaccine. He screwed you over. For lack of a better word, he fucked you over with the vaccine. So he didn't save the world with the vaccine. He didn't save the country with the vaccine. He didn't save 5 years of lockdowns with the vaccine. He did exactly what they wanted to do to fuck you over for generations to come. My God, these people are not trolling. They're dead serious because they watched a bunch of brainwashed Trump supporters who just make and hallucinate excuses for what happened. So nobody knows what they're talking about anymore. They're not trolling. They believe this stuff. And I know this because millions of people believe this stuff because Trump brainwashed people and these other Trump analysts who don't tell the truth at all. They can't cope with the fact the vaccine did not set you free. The vaccine is part of the control system. If people got a vaccine, I don't care. If people want to do it, I don't care. But I see what they're doing. Lockdown, mask mandate, vaccines, vaccine mandate. It's over. It's not, oh, he saved your life with the vaccine. He did more to take away your freedom with that move. If you give this much money to big pharma and to testing agencies, you think they want to stop testing people? How much money do you think the testers are making? The testers are making a fortune, so they don't want to stop testing you. Why would they want to stop testing you? They want to test you more. There's more money. Big pharma doesn't want to stop doing this. They just got 9 new billionaires. They just made more money in the last year, thanks to Daddy Trump, the vaccine salesman, than they've probably made in a long, long time. And all of these vaccines are under the PrEP Act and the NCVIA, where they don't even have liability for them, so they don't have to even pay a fee for it. So you get what I'm saying? This didn't hurt them. This helped them. This gave them every more reason to do it again because they got incentivized. They got more money, more power, more control, more lockdowns, more passports, more checks, more testing, and there's no sign of it stopping. There's no sign of it slowing down. They're only going to try to bring it back with the Delta variant. Trump did not save your life with the vaccine. He did not save your freedom. He did not stop them from locking you down. That's a Trump supporter lie. Stop lying. The country depends on it. If you keep lying about what's going on, you're going to get exactly what happens when nobody tells the truth. He did not save your freedom. He did not stop the lockdown. He did more to take away your freedom than he did to save it. They're going to use that and hold it over like they're doing now. How many millions of Trump supporters are getting told, if you don't do this and you don't do this and you don't do this, unless you get this, then you can't work here? Millions? Did he set them free with it? No. He would have done more to set them free by not doing it. But you don't even believe what you're saying. The difference is, I believe what I'm saying. If Obama did what Trump did, you would never make this argument. If Hillary did what Trump did, you would never make this argument. If Bill did what you don't believe what you even say. It's turned into a cultist movement where a bunch of people just worship Trump and they don't even believe anything they say. So what does it mean to fight the left and fight the media when you guys are turning into a faker crowd, just as fake as the media, just slightly less fake? You don't even believe it. If any other politician did that, you wouldn't be theorizing about how they saved you. You would know exactly how they didn't save you. You would know exactly how that was just another layer of the control scheme. He didn't stop it. He ushered it out. That didn't save your life. I'm so tired of these. I have a theory. Yeah, you have a theory because you're caught in a world where you just keep lying to each other and everyone lies to each other and you believe those lies and you go to CPAC, and this is why we don't get anything done. Twin said the most informative segment ever. I appreciate it. But I just want to say, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not having these same dumb conversations. If you want to go and lie with other people and pretend like Trump saved your freedom by rushing a vaccine, you know, just take it somewhere else. I don't mind having a conversation. I've had this conversation 1,000 times now, 1,000 times. And every time people are wrong. Come on, guys. It didn't open the country. It didn't save your life. It only furthered the control scheme. It only furthered the possibility of you losing more. You've already lost so much. If there is no vaccine, there is no segregated society right now. He ushered that in. It's unbelievable. Might have to take a break because people can't handle it. Someone said Trump rushed them. Why the rush? I'm not going to speculate on why, but I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you want a product that makes billions of dollars that you can then use to shut people down? If that's the type of person you are and you're into mass control, mass power, mass money, why wouldn't you rush them? Why? What penalty is there if they rush them? Do you guys know how these things work? They don't have liability. They're immune from liability. So why wouldn't they? If people on the left are going to act like they're Charlie's golden ticket and people on the right are going to act like he saved the world by doing them, why wouldn't they? What a perfect scheme. The left thinks it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. The right thinks he saved the world because Trump's a liar. And there's nobody actually telling the truth about it. So why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they rush it? They don't have to pay for side effects. They're immune from liability. Trump doesn't have to pay for lying. He has no liability for these. But I just want to repeat this fake Trump theory in the Trump world that Trump saved freedom by rushing the vaccine and you would have been locked down for 4 or 5 years. It's so important because you don't understand any part of what actually going on. If you think the vaccine saved your life, that's like saying lockdown saved your freedom. The only way to save your freedom is to take it away. The only way to save the Constitution is to override it. The only way to set you free is if there's a big pharma product jammed down your throat. The only way to make America more free is by doing exactly what the people who don't agree with your politics want him to do so they can usher in the next, the next part of the plan. That's not set. Come on, guys. The only way you could get free market capitalism is to sell. It doesn't make sense. It only makes sense to people because they worship Trump more than they care about the truth. Trump has superseded the truth in their head, the Constitution, the country, the free market capitalism, every conservative value that conservatives claim to care about are now second fiddle to a guy that they will literally just make up theories that don't even make sense anymore. Somebody tried to convince me that Trump doesn't know who Edward Snowden is. I'm not even blaming him for not pardoning him. It's just shocking to me that you love Trump so much that you're going to act like he's too stupid to know who Edward Snowden is. Like, do you even believe yourself? You remind me of Democrats. When Democrats say that voter ID is racist, I have to ask myself, do they really believe that it's racist or are they just lying? I think they're just lying. I don't think they're that stupid. I think so I'm starting to think, are Trump supporters really this far gone? Or are they just lying? I think you guys are just lying. I don't think you think that. I don't think you think he saved the world or he saved freedom. I think you're just lying. And I think at a certain point, people know they're lying. Terry said, you remind me of a Democrat. I remind you of a Democrat because I'm talking about the free market and freedom. How does that remind you of a Democrat? You remind me of somebody who can only think two different ways. So when you see someone question your party, you just think they're a Democrat. That doesn't even make sense. It's so bad. It's gotten so bad. They're manifesting into everything the left wants to say you guys are. You're starting to turn into it. So it's like a setup after setup after setup. Like, my gosh. It's unbelievable. Would I talk to Trump if I had a chance? Yeah, sure. Lorraine said this is the truest conversation ever. I just can't believe this is still happening after a year and a half. I mean, this shows where our country's going. The left is so far gone that they don't even want to show their face anymore. How are we supposed to run a country? Listen, I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. I love what I have. How are we supposed to run a country if half the country doesn't even want to show their face anymore because they think showing their face and operating their business at full capacity is Republican? You can't run a country. So I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm also aware that this isn't going to work for that much longer at this rate if half the country is this far gone. That's the left. And then you go to the right And I'm saying basic things about freedom, basic things about the lockdown, basic things about vaccine sales, very basic stuff. And 50% of the right wing doesn't even know what I'm talking about. This country is doomed at this rate. And I'm not a doomer, and it's not a black pill. I'm trying to motivate people. Like the left, you don't have to wear a mask for the rest of your life. We get it. You hate Trump. Okay? Take the mask off and breathe air again. You guys are getting crazy. And on the right, your whole life doesn't have to revolve around making excuses for things that you know and I know damn well you would never make excuses for if it was Obama. It's like become a cult. It's like, well, I don't agree with it, but I think it's like, why not just take the stance of, I don't agree with it. I don't have to agree with it. It's not a black pill, Albert. It's inspiring if people actually do something, but it's like, it's gonna take people being challenged, like no one in the right wing wants to challenge anybody. So these fake ideas are blossoming. It's like on the left wing, the reason it's so fake is because nobody's allowed to challenge them. They call everybody a racist and blah, blah, blah. So they just talk amongst themselves and nobody's allowed to intellectually challenge them. That's why the left has gotten fake. The right is going to go the same direction if people can't. I'm not in the majority. I'm one of the only Trump voting, conservative leaning, patriot style influencers that says this about Trump at all. There's not millions of people who say this. There's like 5. So I'm not in the majority. Like, oh, I'm one of the only ones. And some people can hear it and a lot of people can listen. And there's more diversity of thought on the right. But, if this conversation can't even be had, I guess it can. But someone said America needs to hear this. For sure. Someone said 2 Americas. Well, that's what Fauci said. But yeah, I mean, once these things are set into place, the vaccine, the lockdown, it's not easy to switch. It's not easy to go back to how we were. It's going to take people actually identifying what's going on and being like, no, but it's tricky, but it's okay. All right. Patrice said, I'm sick of being silenced. Well, I hope you're not silenced too much. It's definitely disappointing, but I don't know exactly what's going on. But this is why, on a final note, I know I say this all the time, but hopefully it's more inspiring and motivational than not. The reason the Republicans do this stuff is because no one seems to care. Like, I guess they care about Trump, but besides that, it's like if people just voice their opinion respectfully and just said no, it's really that simple, I think. But let me know what you guys think. Hopefully that wasn't too intense. I like it sometimes, but God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I appreciate it. I would love to see, and I already do see it. I know it's not the majority, but at a certain point, we're going to have to talk about this stuff. All right. Someone said we're battling. I'm just going to take off. Sorry. My throat's getting a little sore, but God bless you guys. God bless America. God bless the world. I appreciate it. We'll have a more happy, I'll joke more, but like seriously, I've had this conversation. I've had multiple debates. It's not like I'm in my echo chamber. I've had this conversation. So if people want to come in and just get annoyed all the time and say stuff, just unfollow me. I don't even really care. I'm not saying it like I'm afraid. I've had this conversation 10,000 times. The conversation I'm trying to have, people have had 0 times on their platform. So you got what I'm saying? It's not that I don't want to talk. I don't want to say the same things over and over and over again. I know it's helpful. I know it's relevant. I know we're going to have to repeat stuff sometimes, but anybody who's followed me from March or April is probably getting annoyed by now because people have said this stuff for a year and a half and it's never been true. And just for the record, all this stuff I was saying, and I'm not saying I'm special or I'm perfect, but like I said the same stuff in April, and the lies that people told in April are way different than the lies they're telling now. They're like, no, anomaly, he's going to do this and that. And like, it's like all those don't even exist anymore because it was all fake. I was like, once he does Operation Warp Speed, I knew the mandatory vax was coming. I knew this type of vibe was coming because once you give up ground, they take ground. It's really that simple. So it's like, if you concede as a conservative, if you concede to this idea, I'm okay with this and Trump's saving me with a vaccine, you now live in that world. The conservative movement says, you can do this to me, and the only way I can be free is with a big pharma product. They love that. You're not a threat. Like, I'm not saying a bad, but like, you're not a threat to the establishment, or you're not a threat to tyranny. It's like they're looking at that like, oh, perfect. These people they literally think the only way they could be saved is if Trump rushes a product. So now that's the world you live in, and that's the message you're sending to them. We can do this whenever. They're not going to stop doing that stuff because you want that. You think that's normal. To me, it's no disrespect. It's all peaceful. It's all love. But it's like, I don't concede this idea that I can be a prisoner and a slave for 1 month, 2 months, 2 years, 3 years, unless you rush 3 big pharma products down my throat. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. That's not conservative. That doesn't make any sense. But this is what conservatives are telling themselves because they like Trump so much. The only way we can be free is with a vaccine. Did you hear what you just said? He saved the world and he saved freedom by rushing a vaccine. So now you live in a world where the way you save freedom is with rushing a vaccine. So they're going to keep doing it. It's never going to end, not because of just liberals, because conservatives think that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's a world that you're now manifesting. Like, yeah, that's how you get the freedom back from the lockdowns is with the vaccine. Okay, well, here's another one. Here's another vaccine. Here's another jab. Here's another. The variants are going to keep going. So, I think that's the main point I'm trying to make is this mindset of Trump culture is asking for more lockdowns and asking for more of this. Like, it's not, how is it going to go away if the people supposed to stand for freedom think that it makes sense that you're allowed to do that as long as you rush a vaccine and your name is Donald Trump? Doesn't make sense. Hayden said Trump and Bernie could swap platforms in 2024 and their supporters would still vote for them just the same. YouTube sent my super chat as soon as I added my card, so I guess you get 2. Thank you. Well, thank you, Hayden. Yeah, I mean, people are interesting characters, like certain people like certain people. It's fine, but I don't know. To me, I'm just looking at this stuff and I'm just saying what I'm saying. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Someone said the jabs will continue forever. Oh, for sure. It's not this came so they could give it to us and we could be free. Guys, they're going to do this every year. These things that we've lost, the only way we could get them back is if people just say, I don't want to do that. If you want to get a vaccine, it's fine. But I've never heard of a vaccine that you get twice in a row. You have to get it twice. It's mRNA technology. You have to get it twice. A lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are sicker than any vaccine I've ever heard. Okay, side effects, whatever. And then you have to get it every year and every year and every year. There is no vaccine like that. There was the flu shot that was optional. There was no mandatory mRNA jab that you get 2 times and 1 time and 1 time and 1 time. Our society, America, is forever ruined, not because of the lockdown and Trump saved us with the vaccine, because the lockdown and Trump did do the vaccine. I don't care about the technology. I'm not afraid of it, but it's like, that didn't save us. That screwed us. And they're already saying yearly doses. Yearly, every year. This isn't going away because Trump got it out quickly. This is staying forever because Trump got it out quickly. It's literally the exact opposite of what Trump supporters are saying. And what I'm saying is the majority of Trump influencers are posting this on their Instagrams. It's not just you that's saying it. I'm not being rude to you. I'm just saying this is like the main thought in Trump world is if he didn't rush the vaccine, we were never going to be free. And that made us free. If you don't want to fly, or you don't want to go on a cruise, or you don't want to go to a sports game, or you don't want to work at that corporation, but oops, guess what happened during the lockdown? The major tech corporations that won't hire you if you don't listen to them, they took over mom and pop shops because 100 small businesses or 100,000 restaurants got wiped out. So big tech took over more real estate, more property, more stuff. There's less and less places for you to run. Like people used to go to America. Well, I want to go to America. It's free. Well, if we're not free anymore, there is nowhere else to run. And that's how America is. They took over so much stuff. So you think just Florida, well, okay, you could live in Florida, but what if Ron DeSantis doesn't win in 2 years? I hope he does, but what if he doesn't win? What if that's the only place you can go? America's getting smaller and smaller. So the corporations that span all 50 states, they're the ones who have more jobs. And they just took away a lot of jobs by the lockdown. So now there's less jobs. They have the jobs. And this vaccine is something you're going to have to get every year. I'm not trying to scare people, but excuse me, my voice is being gone. But, this didn't save you from freedom. This exact thing that Trump did is going to haunt us for decades to come if people don't realize that it even happened in the first place. That's all I asked for. is not for people to hate Trump or get mad at Trump. Just stop lying and telling me that he saved the world by rushing a product that's going to be shoved down your throat every year for the next 3 decades at this rate. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but at this rate it will, because there is no freedom movement. There's a run circles around Trump and act like this is the savior of my life, even though I don't want it. He saved us from the lockdown. This is going to be what they use for the lockdown, and what they use for the regulations and for this stuff. Mass testing at this rate, never going away. Masks on airplanes at this rate, never going away. Tests to go overseas at this rate, never going away. Maybe that's the world you want to live in. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, but is it good to lose your sovereignty? I don't think so. But if you think that's fine because Trump did it or something, or he rushed it and it's federalism, we can make all the excuses under the sun, but at a certain point, a country is supposed to vote for somebody who's supposed to do what they want him to do, not do what the other side wants him to do, and doing all the things you don't want him to do. If not, then we live in a country where you vote for someone you like who doesn't do anything you want him to do, ends up doing all the other stuff, and there's no more freedom, but you just make excuses for it. That doesn't make sense to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's exactly the right thing to do, is just keep losing freedom. To me, I don't say this because I think, oh my God, I'm so mean and I'm so judgy. Only God can judge Trump. Only God can judge me. I'm not judging. I just think with all the research that I've done and all the analysis that I've done, I don't think I'm going to be free that much longer. And I don't think anybody's going to be free that much longer, because if you look at the American Constitution and things that made America unique from other countries, we're losing all that stuff. And if I look at other countries, they're not free. In Canada, you can get arrested or a visit for things you say. And now that's becoming the case in America. You could get a call because of things that you said. We're turning into communist China. We're turning into Canada. And I don't say this to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I literally don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be a prisoner. And I feel like at this rate, everything that made America great is being stripped by both parties. I'm not saying this to be mean to Trump. I'm not saying this to be mean to conservatives. I'm saying this because I'm not saying it to be mean or scary, or do I seem scared? I'm not scared at all. I don't care. I'm just saying, at a certain point, everyone in the world came to America as a place to go that was prosperous and free. And eventually there's going to be nowhere else to go. We were that place, and we're slowly turning into not that place. And it's going to affect Democrats, and it's going to affect liberals, and it's going to affect Trump supporters. It's going to affect everyone. So that's not the point of my stream, to be mean or hateful to people that follow me or Trump. I'm just trying to be one person in the sea of a lot of people who won't say this, and be like, at a certain point, we need to spend less energy on making excuses why we're losing so much freedom, and more just peacefully and respectfully just saying no, just not complying, legally, peacefully, respectfully saying no. You don't have to run circles around Trump for 5 years screaming about the election. It just takes action and, non-compliance in certain ways, and just peacefully and legally just saying something. Like just yelling about political things all the time and then falling for the same trap. It's not going to solve an issue when it came during the term of the guy that you want back. I'm not saying that elections aren't important, but if the guy that you thought was going to do something didn't do that, and then the only thing that you care about is getting that guy back into office, this is not a solving of the problem. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't think he's great, but getting Trump back into office clearly is not the solution that you guys think it is, if this is how we lost it. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully that makes sense. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Always longer than expected, but that's what it is. I appreciate you. I'm very, very grateful. And thank you guys for the discussion. Thank you guys who disagree. And thank you to everybody who challenges me, who doesn't like what I'm saying, who unfollows. I don't really care. Just, I'm peaceful. I'm trying to be respectful. And sometimes I get hyped up. You can make fun of me. You can be mad at me. I don't really care. What I care about is not becoming a slave in the next 10 years. And if you look at places like Libya, slavery literally came back to the world. If you look at, countries under communist regimes, there have been famines and stuff. I'm not my country turn out like that, because it's not going to benefit anybody. But let me know what you guys think. God bless you, and I'll be back soon.